And welcome out to Max McLeary Field as your Xenia Scouts are coming off another heartbreaking defeat last night back at Grady's Field in Xenia, Ohio. Went to extra innings, and in the top of the 10th, the Scouts led off the third run of the game and could not come back in the bottom half of the inning and lost to the Southern Ohio Copperheads by a score of 3-2 to drop to 16-13 on the year. Hello to everyone. I am Terry Lash alongside my broadcast partner Lance Morris here for more Xenia Scouts baseball action. We're here for every Xenia Scouts baseball game for this summer. And Lance, another heartbreaking defeat for the Scouts yesterday. Now down here to take on the Steam in Cincinnati. How does the team rebound after that loss?
Last night it was just a game that they couldn't pull out near the end. They had everything going up until that top of the 10th inning. They got a run in the third inning off a home run from Kyle Carnahan. It was his fourth on the season, and then they scored one run that was in the 8th inning off the bat of Cale Giddings that brought in Christian Binger to tie up the ball game at 2. And then everything that could go wrong in that 10th inning did. They had a couple errors off of Christian Binger, had a fielding error, then compounded it with a throwing error, and then a play at the plate after Miles made a nice play out in right and then threw it in on a rope to Zach Wiley and just wasn't able to hang on to the ball as it fell out of his glove as he applied the tag. Would have had that run nailed down at the plate. So everything that could go wrong last night for the Scouts did. That was against Southern Ohio Copperheads. Are facing a different opponent here today in the Cincinnati Steam.
And we're about to get underway as Lee Solomon strolls to the plate. First pitch from Nick Beard is a bit high to Austin Holloway, getting his second start of the season for the Steam behind the plate. 1-0 to Solomon.
Solomon 4 for 10 so far against the Steam this season.
Here comes the 1-0 pitch. That one inside for a ball. Home plate umpire Steve Horn behind the plate today. Scouts in their navy and gray with a white outline on the numerals. That one inside as well. Quickly 3-0 to Solomon.
Solomon with 11 walks on the season, 2 of them against Della Vella for the Licking County Sellers. Had 1 walk going into the contest.
Here's the 3-0 pitch, and that one is in there for a strike. Lower portion of that strike zone. First strike of the day for Nick Beard. So 3-1 leadoff batter Lee Solomon from Lipscomb University. Here's the 3-1 pitch, and that one's hit to left field. Going, and gone. Lee Solomon with his second leadoff homer of the season. First one on the road. So Lee Solomon starts this game in a big way. Goes the distance in left field.
So there are 3 different people who have home runs for the Scouts, 2 of them being 2 of the Washburn guys, and Kyle Carnahan and David Gaunt. Lee Solomon, the only other guy on the team with home runs, and he gets his second one in tremendous fashion, second leadoff home run.
And here comes Austin Orr, the lefty from Union. First pitch to him is outside corner for a strike. We saw him narrowly missed a homer yesterday. That went foul. Gets all of it today. Here comes the 0-1. That one swung hit towards left field. See if it'll drop. It will. Just barely foul. It'll be 0-2 to Austin Orris, who was rounding first, heading to second. That's unfortunate. Here at McLeary Field goes 327 dead left, 285 to right, and 397 to center. So it's a bit of a really shaped ballpark, and they have, of course, the chain link monster in right field, as you can see at home. A little bit of a skewed view on your webcam. Scouts already up 1-0 after a leadoff home run from Lee Solomon. Got this game cooking in a big way. Here comes the 0-2 to Austin Orr. Swung on and missed. Tipped off. Austin Orr will stay alive. He got just maybe 1 or 2 of the red stitchings on that one.
That's all you need to stay alive with 0-2. Almost had a double down that left field line. Just barely went foul.
So we'll do again at 0-2. Here comes the delivery from Beard. Swung and missed. Now Orr will go down with the strikeout. First of the day for Nick Beard. He came in today's contest with 18 on the season. This is his 6th start. He has a 5.47 ERA and a 1-1 record. He's pitched 23 innings. Now of 19 strikeouts and does have 10 walks. Speaking of walks, here comes Christian Binger, the league leader. First pitch to him. Right down Detroit Street for a strike. 0-1 now to the second baseman, Christian Binger.
Binger, of course, leading the team and the entire league with 22 walks.
0-1 pitch. Here it comes. That one just misses a bit outside. Count even up at 1 apiece.
Christian 4 for 7 this season against the Steam.
Here for Northern Kentucky University, one of the Norsemen. That one curves in there, but no, it will be a strike. Counts now 1-2. I originally thought Horn was going to call ball, but I think correctly calling that it dropped back into the zone. We're going to do it at 1-2 now. Here comes the pitch. That one low in the dirt as we see the chalk fly in the air off of the cleats of Holloway. Even up at 2-2 now for Binger, who we know will not change his composure at the plate. 2-2 pitch. Here it comes. Swung and fouled out of play. Second baseman will do it again. Evened up at 2-2. Binger the lefty. It's the righty Beer. That one curves and misses just barely. His second consecutive strikeout must have been a bit high on that one. Now full count to Christian Binger. Here comes the payoff pitch. And that one misses outside, and that's going to be Michael Jordan's number 23 on the year for Christian Binger for walks on the season. Leads the league in free bases.
And, of course, number like 23 with 23rd walk on the season, but he did keep his tongue inside his mouth, so not quite MJ-like.
Not exactly Jordan-esque. Christian Binger, one of the more reserved guys on the team, but very effective this year. As Kyle Carnahan, speaking of effective, comes to the dish, swings and misses at the first one.
And you might notice Kyle Carnahan hitting in the 4th spot. David Gaunt getting his first off day of the season, has been either behind the plate or DH'd in every single game this season.
0-1 to Carnahan, who did homer yesterday. That one was check swing, but is moving towards right field, and it's going to drop. Christian Binger gets his second in time, and that'll be the most unconventional single that Kyle Carnahan hits all season long.
Complete check swinger, and it's still got about midway into right field. So had he put a full swing on that, that probably would have went off the chain link monster out there in right.
Opposite direction on the check swing, bloops into right field territory and puts 2 on with 1 out here. The Scouts leading 1-0 here in the top of the first inning against the Cincinnati Steam as Cale Giddings steps to the plate. Dunn looks towards second. Binger, here's the delivery to Paul Bunyan's a bit high. 1-0 now to the big man from Lake Erie College, the Akron Zip transfer.
Cale got his first at-bat of the season against the Steam. It was his first day with the club, and he did not get a hit. He's 0 for 1 against the Steam.
Here comes the 0-1. That was chopped right back. Good stop by Dunn. Throws it to Jernigan at short and to first. And it's going to be a 1-6-3 double play. And that's going to end the top of the first inning. But it was a leadoff home run from Lee Solomon to start the scoring up for the Navy and Gray as they head to the bottom of the first. Xenia leads Cincinnati by a score of 1-0.
Just in case you didn't catch it, you said Dunn instead of Beard.
Thank you, Lance.
Yeah, the Scouts get on the board first off a leadoff home run from Lee Solomon. Christian Binger gets on with a walk, and Kyle Carnahan gets on with a check swing base hit. That's something you don't see very often. And then Cale hits into the double play to end the inning. So Scouts leave 1 on in the form of Christian Binger. But still, nice job there from the Scout staff. Get on board early.
Yeah, it was a beautiful swing from Lee Solomon and just drifted and drifted and drifted above that Max McLeary field sign in left center field. Hopped over the yellow part of that fence, and Hugh McGrath steps on the rubber for the Scouts. This will be his 6th start of the year, 7th appearance. Did play the Steam earlier this season, and arguably one of his better performances on the year. Got 10 strikeouts that day.
Arguably, he almost went 8 full innings without giving up a hit.
Arguably one of his best appearances on the season. Hugh McGrath absolutely dominant in that one.
And that's only second to his broadcasting debut, which he made last week when Terry was a little under leather trying to get his voice back.
And these two teams will do it again tomorrow on Sunday at 4:05 as the Steam head up north to Xenia, Ohio, back at Grady's Field to take on the Scouts. Scouts again will be in action on Monday against the Southern Ohio Copperheads to finish that season series. That'll be at 7:05. I'll be down in Athens at Bob Wren Stadium, weather permitting. Q sporting that pink glove. We usually talk about Q's mother, a breast cancer survivor, the reason why he wears it, and she's in fact here today at Max McLeary Field. As we spotted Lance spotted Q's parents right before today's opening pitch.
Dad wearing an East Central t-shirt, which is, of course, where Q does his pitching in college out in Ada, Oklahoma. So a little bit of a dead giveaway here in Cincinnati, Ohio.
And here comes Richard Rodriguez. First pitch from Q, inside corner for a strike. We didn't happen to see Richard Rodriguez the last time these two teams played. It was a new addition to the team. Here comes the 0-1. Check swing and appeal to first base umpire. And Brian Gunning says he got him. So it's 0-2 now. Q working well early. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. And that was a bit high. Maybe see if you get Rodriguez chasing. Rodriguez again from Cincinnati University, originally from Brooklyn, New York, then moved to Baltimore, Maryland before he became a Bearcat. Here comes the 1-2. That one curves in there for a strike. One batter, 1K for Q.
You got to think these Cincinnati hitters know exactly what Q did to them the last time he faced them. That was back on June 14th on a Sunday evening. So a lot that has to be wearing thin, and a lot of these guys. And Burkhardt, who's at the plate, hit the first real hit off of Q when it was a double back in the 8th inning.
And here comes Brad Burkhardt, and that one's going to be hit towards Christian Binger at second. Hops. Binger is able to pick it up, throw to Kale Giddings at first, and put it away. So one pitch, and now two down here in the bottom of the first inning. Yesterday, the Steam lost a doubleheader to the Lake Erie Monarchs. They were blanked in both of those contests. Steam coming into this game 7-16 on the year, 10th in the league standings. And it was the first time in the team's 10-year history that they're shut out in back-to-back games of a doubleheader. Now Trike Habercorn at the plate. That one's lined towards first and just foul. Right next to Kale Giddings.
By very much. Just skipped over the line and then just barely went to the right of that line.
So McGrath will step back on the rubber. Knows he got lucky against the lefty Trike Habercorn, who's coming into today batting .282. Another Bearcat from Cincinnati.
1 for 4 against the Scouts, but that was in game 1, so it wasn't against Q.
Here comes the second pitch, and that one hits him. And Habercorn is going to be strolling to first base after taking that one off the back hip. So one runner on.
And Habercorn close to being the Kyle Carnahan of this team. That'll be the 6th time he'll be hit by a pitch.
So first base runner on the game for the Steam as Trey Gans comes up to the plate, batting .337 on the year. Another Norseman from Northern Kentucky. First pitch to him. That one's outside for a ball. Lincoln Reed with a nice grab of that one. He's behind the plate today for the Scouts. That three-man rotation between Zach Wiley, Lincoln Reed, and Dave Gaunt we've seen the last few weeks. Habercorn on first. That one in there for a strike. Q evens it up at 1 apiece.
Gans is 1 for 7 against the Scouts.
Andre Jernigan on deck. Here comes that 1-1 pitch, and that one just misses the outside corner. 2-1 now from Q to Gans.
Gans leads the Steam with 20 strikeouts, also has 11 walks at the top as well.
Q from the stretch. He winds and delivers. Swung on and missed. Evened up now at 2-2 with 2 outs and 1 runner on first. 1-0 Scouts. Lee Solomon with a leadoff home run. Gives the Navy blue and gray their 1-0 lead in this contest. The Steam in their home white and whites. White tops, white bottoms with blue trimming. As Gans looks like he's going to step out of the box and Q will get back on the rubber. We're going to do it again here at 2-2. Lincoln Reed behind the plate. Here comes the pitch. Habercorn's on the move. Swung on and foul backwards into the black netting in front of us.
And Habercorn over at first. 6 steals. That has been caught 5 times, so just right around 500 in the stolen base category.
So he's not afraid to try. Being caught 5 times this year and still giving it a go. Habercorn stands at 6'3", must have some pretty big strides, does the center fielder. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Curves in there and Q's out of the inning after his second strikeout of the day. So Q does hit Trey Habercorn on, but records a couple of strikeouts. And after one, the Xenia Scouts lead the Cincinnati Steam by a score of 1-0.
Q had 10 strikeouts last time he faced off with the team, so getting himself started with 2 quick ones here in the first inning. He started off the inning by striking out Rich Rodriguez looking, and Brad Burkhart grounded over to Christian Binger on a 1-2 hopper that he got over to Kale for the first out. And Habercorn was hit by a pitch and was stranded at first, and then Gans went down on strikes. He foul tipped it, but it was a nice grab by Lincoln Reed to assure the strikeout for Q to end that first inning.
A couple of scores from around the league. A doubleheader already finished today. The Grand Lake Mariners first beat the Gallon Graders, then lost to them. So if the Scouts were to win this game, they would jump the Mariners and become 4th in the standings again. They were 4th going to yesterday's contest against the Copperheads, and that loss dropped them down to 5th. A victory would have put them in 3rd. Other action around the league, a battle between the top 2 teams in the Great Lakes League, the Lima Locos, second place team, beating the Hamilton Joes 1-0 in the bottom first up at Simmons Field. And Lima High, if the Locos win that one, they'll take over first place. Up in Flat Rock, the Lake Erie Monarchs and Lorain County Ironmen are tied at 1 apiece, and Licking County Settlers and Southern Ohio Copperheads are about to do action tonight down at Bob Redden Stadium, as this is one of the best days in Ohio we've seen in a few weeks. There's just been so much water and wetness to keep the teams off of the fields that have had a havoc wreaked upon them, and finally getting to play some baseball as Lincoln Reed strolls to play. And Lance, what's the side coming up for the Scouts?
As you said, Lincoln Reed will lead off this top of the second inning for the Scouts. It will be Levi Gilcrease. He's 4 for 9 against the Steam, and then it will be Wyatt Hogan who'll get the start out in left field today, and in the number 8 spot in the batting order, he's 1 for 4 against the Steam.
And that hit back in the first inning was the 7th game in a row Kyle Carnahan has got a hit. Here's the first pitch to Lincoln Reed, up a bit high to the catcher. 1-0 now to Lincoln. Grew up right around here, went to Archbishop Moeller High School. Second pitch to Lincoln, swung on and missed. Big hack at the switch hitting catcher from Taylor University, the Trojan, the 3rd-year scout, Lincoln Reed.
Lincoln struggling against the Steam, 0 for 8 so far.
That 1-1 is tipped backwards off of the catching equipment of Austin Holloway. So now 1-2 to Lincoln, down to his last strike. Beard throws, and that one curves. Did not land on the outside corner, so we'll do it again at 2-2. Beautiful break to that one from Nick Beard. We've seen a lot of movement. First time we've seen Beard this year. 2-2 pitch. That one shot right back to him, and he's going to walk it over and throw it to Rozier on first, and that'll put away Lincoln Reed.
So that'll extend Lincoln's struggles against the Steam. That'll make him 0 for 9.
And here comes Levi Gilcrease, who's now batting .216 on the year. He's a center fielder from Baylor. 12 RBIs. Good for 3rd on the team. And 2 hits in yesterday's conference. First pitch from Beard. That one a bit high for a ball.
Levi 4 for 9 against the Steam. Like you mentioned, 12 RBIs to go with 11 walks, 33 strikeouts, leads the league.
Second pitch also a bit high, so now 2-0 to Gilcrease from Beard. His brother Zach sitting over at first. Head coach Bubba Cates in the third base coach's box. Here's the 2-0 pitch, and that one inside corner for a strike. Gilcrease taking again.
Yeah, you got to think you take with the 2-0 count unless it's right down Broadway.
2-1 to Gilcrease. Here comes the throw. Swung and missed. Looks like Levi was a bit ahead of that one. So now 2-2 to the center fielder as he grabs the dirt. Tries to get more traction on the bat, get a better grip. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swung, and that one's fouled high in the sky. Kids are going to run after that one, and we'll do it again at an even count. 2-2 to Levi Gilcrease. Scouts up 1-0 here at Max McLeary Field in Cincinnati, Ohio, after a leadoff home run by Lee Solomon here on the top of the second. Here's a 2-2, and that one is right down the middle. Levi Gilcrease will go down looking. And that's the 34th time this year that Gilcrease has struck out.
And there wasn't much you could do on that one. That appeared to be right down the middle. Just wasn't ready for that. Had a little bit of late break to it, but just kind of stood there, looked back at the umpire, and walked back to the bench. There wasn't much you could do about that one.
So second strikeout of the day for Nick Beard. Now with 20 on the season as Wyatt Hogan steps to the plate. That one misses high for ball one. So Wyatt Hogan, who gets to start in left field today. Did not play yesterday. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and that one is going to be fouled. Out of play to the right side behind the steam dugout. 1-1 evened up to the left fielder from Hendrix College in Arkansas. A California native, Wyatt Hogan. Here comes a 1-1 pitch, and that one's way up top. Hitting the ceiling was Beard.
That'd be a weird place to have a ceiling on a baseball field.
It would be very strange. That's why I don't think he wanted to hit it. And here comes the 2-1 from Beard. That one in the dirt and outside. So now 3-1. Wyatt Hogan would love to draw his 10th walk of the season. Hogan came in today batting 133. Beard from the windup of that one. Outside corner for a strike. That's going to make us full here at 3-2. First time today that Nick Beard has had a full count. Wyatt Hogan steps back in. Here comes the payoff pitch. That one curves and cannot hit that inside corner. So Hogan will be in the double digits in the walk category with his 10th of the season.
And actually, Terry, he did have a full count to Christian Baker in the first inning.
I must have not marked that correctly in my book. So second full count of the day.
Brings up Miles Wright, who had himself a day last time the Scouts faced off with the steam right here at Max McLeary Field. Went 3 for 4 and was our player of the game.
So Hogan on first. Now Miles Wright. Now that's like a throwaway pitch. Maybe thinking why Hogan might be on the move.
Just like I say with Zach Wiley, just like I say with Cale Giddings. Wyatt's probably not going to be stealing.
So 1-0 count now to the right fielder, Miles Wright. And again, they're scared about Wyatt moving from first to second as that one looks like another pitch out.
Yesterday, I did have a conversation with Wyatt about his deceptive speed is what he called it. He doesn't look like he's the fastest, but he does have a little bit more speed on him than you'd think.
2-0 to Miles Wright. That one's going to be chopped over towards shortstop, and Andre Jernigan throws to first. And in time, and Miles Wright goes down. And he's going to leave Wyatt Hogan stranded on second. So after the top of the second inning, the Scouts still lead, though, 1-0. They've gone through their order, and it's a solo shot to start off this game from Lee Solomon. That's been the difference.
So in that top of the second, Lincoln Reed rounded out to Beard. He hit it right back to him, and he soft tossed it over to Roser at first. And Levi struck out looking for the second strikeout of the day for Beard. Not much Levi could do after it was already passed. It was right down the middle, and realized he should have swung basically as soon as it hit the catcher's glove. And then Wyatt draws himself a walk, worked it to a full count. And then Miles grounded out to Andre Jernigan at short to end that top half of the second.
So Q McGrath will head out to the mound for his second inning of action, trying to get his second victory of the season against the Cincinnati Steam squad.
This is a makeup date from last week's performance, and that is not
outfield for the Scouts, left field Wyatt Hogan, center field Levi Gilcrease, right field Miles Wright, infield for the Scouts. Of course, Kyle Carnahan at third base. He's starting every single game this season at third base as we are in game number 30. Hard to believe that today will be 75% done with the season.
It's already 30 games.
It is hard to believe. Lance Christian Binger on second and Cale Giddings first. And, of course, McLeary behind the plate, Q McGrath on the mound. Those are your Xenia Scouts as the bottom of the second. And Andre Jernigan steps up to the dish. First pitch to him, swinging and fouling it backwards behind us. 0-1 now to the shortstop from Xavier University.
After Jernigan will be first baseman Andy Rozier and then left fielder Mitchell Lendensky.
Q winds and delivers. That one inside for a ball. Jernigan from right down the road. And Xavier, we saw him talking to Thomas Wanning of the Scouts earlier today before the game started. 1-1 pitch here comes from Q. And that one's a bit low now. 2-1 to Jernigan.
Jernigan 0 for 8 against the Scouts.
Q looks, gets the call from Reed, delivers the 2-1, and that one's well inside for a ball. Q came into today with 11 walks on the year. Struggled in the walk category in his last start against the Lima Locos. Here's a 3-1, and that one's high. It'll be the first walk of the game. And Andre Jernigan, the shortstop, will get on first.
Now batting for this team is the first baseman, number 18, Andy Rozier.
So that's going to bring up Andy Rozier. Batting .343 on the year, leads the team. First baseman from Huntington University. Andre Jernigan sitting at first base after the leadoff walk from Q McGrath. Digs in, throws, and that one's going to be hit over the head of Lee Solomon. Is going to drop. Levi Gilcrease picks it up in center. But the steam in some business here in the bottom of the second. After a leadoff walk to Jernigan, first pitch swinging is Andy Rozier, who continues his excellent season, and now 2-on with no out for McGrath.
Number 4, Mitchell Lendensky.
It's going to bring up Mitchell Lendensky from Shawnee State University, the left fielder. Scouts in a little bit of danger. 2-on, no out. Scouts have 1-0 here in the bottom of the second inning at Max McLeary Field. Thank you for joining Lance Morris and myself, Terry Lash, for Xenia Scouts Baseball. Q McGrath on the mound. Looks, steps off the rubber. As he's looking at Jernigan. Lee Solomon not covering the bag. Let's see if he tries to creep in there now. Here comes the throw from McGrath towards home plate, and that one's a bit low. 1-0 now for Lendensky, who came in today batting .192.
Lendensky's 0 for 3 so far against the Scouts, only played in that first game.
We're here in the bottom of the second. Scouts up 1-0, 2-on, no outs for Q McGrath. Sixth start of the year. That one's going to be tipped back behind us into the netting. So it'll be 1-1. So do again at 1-1. Rozier on first. Jernigan on second. Q McGrath trying to get out of this danger. Raises that pink glove and throws home. That one's going to be lined towards center field. Levi Gilcrease is going to put that one away. And left center right in front of Wyatt Hogan. So now one down here in the bottom of the second inning, and the runners will not advance on the putout from Gilcrease.
And that just goes to show you the different things that can happen with different outfielders out in the field. That one was very much towards left field more so than center field, but still Levi ranged over to get that. That's because Wyatt Hogan's not going to cover as much ground as someone like Jonathan Bravo would, who didn't get the start today.
That's going to bring up Austin Holloway. First pitch to him right down the equator for a strike. This is only Holloway's second game of the season from Hanover College, originally from Lawrenceburg, Indiana. Runners on first and second. Here comes that 0-1. That one's high. That's like a breaking ball that did not break. Evens up at 1-1 for Q to Holloway.
So that was just the ball. Breaking ball that doesn't break, it's just a ball.
Yes, it was a ball, and that was one ball and one strike to Holloway at the plate. In this lefty versus righty battle, Q will step off the rubber as his timeout is called. Q pitching from the stretch now with two runners on, one on first, and Rozier and Jernigan on second. Here comes that 1-1. That was being chopped in off. Just misses the third base bag, and that was going to hit it at first. just barely missed it. And the second time we've seen this team on the unfortunate side of the foul line.
So it's the second time we've seen one just barely go to the right of that right field line and then the left of that left field line. So kind of like the opposite of what we saw when the Scouts went up to Lorain County, when it seemed like everything was just inside the line. A couple today have been outside that line.
Sun coming back out here in Max McLeary Field. 1-0 ball game. 1 out, 2 on. Here comes the 1-2. That one's going to be chopped. Foul. Looks like he might have got off the foot of Holloway. Again, Austin looking for his first hit of the season. This is his fourth at bat in the Great Lakes League. Scouts up 1-0, trying to hold on to that lead here in the bottom of the second inning. Here comes the wind and throw from McGrath. That one's going to be hit towards Christian Binger at second. Gets under it, throws to first in time. Holloway's put away, but he will advance both Jernigan to third and Rozier to second.
So that kind of works the same as a sacrifice for Holloway, although that is the second out of the inning after the flyout from Landensky, but still the team do have runners on second and third with 2 down.
That's going to bring up Austin Riemann from Missouri Baptist College. And 2:08 on here. Here comes the first throw from McGrath. That one's high for a ball. Last batter of the lineup for the Cincinnati Steam. Another righty against the lefty McGrath. Q with 2 strikeouts on the year. On the day, I mean. 1-0. Here it comes from McGrath. That one's tipped, as Riemann was a bit early on that one. One hit this inning is Andy Rozier. Hit over the head of Lee Solomon into center field in front of Levi Gilcrease. He now stands on second. Andre Jernigan was walked, now on third. Here comes the 1-1 from Q, and that one's high for a ball. Now 2-1 to Austin Riemann, the third baseman.
Riemann 1 for 4 this season against the Scouts.
2 outs here with 2 on. Here comes the throw from Q, and that one's way up top. So again, a 3-1 count Q will have. Last time he had a 3-1 is to start the bottom of the second against Andre Jernigan, and then he walked him. First base is open with Richard Rodriguez on deck, and the start of the lineup for the Cincinnati Steam. Here comes the 3-run from Q, and that one is inside, and he will give up his second walk of the day to load the bases. So they are now chalked as we start up with the Steam's top of the lineup, and Richard Rodriguez, who struck out looking last time.
Number 5, Richard Rodriguez.
So bases loaded now for Rodriguez. I don't feel like we've seen Q in too many bases loaded situations this season.
No, Q not known for his walks, only 11 on the year coming into today. Already with 2 in this inning. First pitch to Rodriguez. That one in the bottom of the strike zone for a strike. Working early on Richard Rodriguez. I just want to call him Rich Rod.
There's nothing wrong with that.
After Rich Rodriguez from Michigan, it just has to happen. 0-1. That one's going to be lined past Kyle Carnahan. That's going to tie up this game. Wyatt Hogan throwing home, and they'll hold up Rozier on third. Andre Jernigan will be singled home, and this game is tied on the RBI single from Richard Rodriguez. So it was 19 2/3 innings since the last run from the Cincinnati Steam, which was just broken, and Q McGrath not out of danger yet. Still bases loaded for Brad Burkhart, who's batting .232 on the year. Ground out to Christian Binger last time he was up.
That's only the 4th or 5th run Q's given up this year.
That one curves back into the strike zone. 0-1 now to Brad Burkhart. Beautiful break on that one from Q. Q fires back towards Burkhart. That one low and inside, even back up at 101 to the right fielder. 1-1 now. Here's the throw to Burkhardt. That one outside. This one misses right. We haven't seen Q miss this far outside yet. Usually missing inside so far today. Inside or high. Now 2-1 to Brad Burkhardt. It's a 1-1 score here in the bottom of the second inning. After that RBI single from Richard Rodriguez. Bases loaded. 2-1 pitch. Checked and is outside. A 3-1 count. And he asks again towards Gunning, and he says he didn't go, so it will be 3-1. Q trying to avoid his third walk of the inning and the second run of the game for the Steam with the bases loaded. Here comes that 3-1 pitch. That one's well inside. It almost hit him. And Q will walk in a runner. We're not used to seeing this out of Q after 3 walks here in the bottom of the second.
Yeah, definitely not quite the Q we're used to seeing. Started the last start as well. That was against the Lima Locos last week exactly. So got to wonder if there's maybe a little bit of a hangover from not pitching as well as he would have liked to in that last start. And it seems to have carried with him. It seems to not be quite hitting his spots. It looked like he really wanted to jam that one in there, but just wasn't able to. I saw a little bit of oomph on that one.
So 2 hits, 3 walks, and 2 runs given up by Q in this inning with the bases loaded for Trey Habercorn. First pitch to him is outside corner for a strike on the breaking ball. So now 0-1 to the center fielder. It was hit by a pitch last time he was up. So Scouts will have to come from behind in today's contest. Trailing 2-1 here in the bottom of the second. 2 outs. 0-1 pitch to Habercorn. Swung on and missed. So 0-2 now to the center fielder. Q 1 strike away from getting out of this danger. Still bases loaded for the Steam, who've put 2 on already. Lead the Scouts 2-1. 2 outs. 0-2 count for Q McGrath. Pitching out of the stretch, looking home to Lincoln Reed at the plate, getting his pitch. See what he can deliver up to Habercorn. That one outside. Try to get him chasing. And that low curve, but nothing doing from Habercorn. Makes it 1-2 now.
And when you have a batter 0-2 like that, you just can't throw anything even almost near the plate. You just can't give him something to hit with 0-2.
Q gets ready. Now he delivers. And that one outside. And now it's going to be even up to Habercorn at 2-2 after he watches the last 2 pitches go by for balls. Bases loaded. 2 outs. 2-1 Steam here in the bottom of the second as they put 2 across this half inning. Here comes the throw to Habercorn. That one almost hit him again. Curved back in and going to make it full at 3-2 for McGrath.
That also wasn't quite as inside as Habercorn may have seemed to be. He kind of exaggerated a little bit.
So 3-2. That one misses inside and a payoff pitch incoming with bases loaded and 2 outs. Here it comes, and that one outside. And Q is going to walk in another run. So it's gone from bad to worse this inning for Q McGrath as Coach Bubba Case meets with him on the mound.
Gone is getting his helmet on, looking like he's going to walk down to the bullpen, so we'll have to see who follows him.
3-1 Steam here in the bottom of the second inning. Scouts lit off the scoring with a lead-off home run from Lee Solomon that cleared the left center fence. Steve Horn's going to go out to the mound and break it up between Coach Cates, Lincoln Reed, and Q McGrath. Q did solid in the first inning, but here in the bottom of the second, he's given up 2 hits, 4 walks, and 3 runs as Tony Campbell is going to the pen for the Scouts here in the second inning. That's going to bring up Trey Gans, the last batter before the Steam go around. Here comes the first pitch to him, and that one outside corner for a strike to the designated hitter who sometimes plays first. Gans struck out swinging his first time up to end the first inning. Oh, 1 to Gans. Here it comes, and that one misses outside, evened up at 1 apiece. Q has walked the last 2 runs in. After Richard Rodriguez had an RBI single. He stands on third now. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. That one's going to be chopped and hit past Lee Solomon at short. They're going to send in another run. Wyatt Hogan throws home and is not going to be stopped, but 2 runs are going to score regardless, as both Richard Rodriguez and Brad Burkhart are singled home from Trey Gans. And now it's 5-1 Steam here in the bottom of the 2nd inning, and this is the most we've seen Q McGrath struggle all year long.
Yeah, this is easily one of the most we've seen Q struggle. Got to wonder about those factors. Like we said, he struggled last week against the Lima Locos. Also, could be the fact he wants to put on a performance for his parents, who probably don't get to see him play very often. They're, of course, from California, and they come all the way to Cincinnati to see him pitch.
And Andre Jernigan up for the 2nd time this inning. He was walked to start off this entire debacle of the bottom of the 2nd, where 5 runs have been put across by the Cincinnati Steam. First pitch to him goes across for a strike. Here's the 0-1. That one's going to be hit towards center field. Levi Gilcrease trying to work for it, and he will be there in time. So the Steam will leave 2-1, but first put 5 runs across the board here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. So the Scouts are going to have to work from way behind now after only scoring 2 runs yesterday. They're going to have to bring those bats out if they don't want to drop their 2nd straight contest against the struggling Cincinnati Steam.
This was a team that hadn't scored in almost 20 straight innings. And then in the 2nd inning, they come up and put 5 on the board against the Scouts. Easily the Scouts' best pitcher in Q McGrath. So this is why baseball is just a weird game. Weird things happen. You can go 19-some innings without getting a run, and then you can put 5 on Q McGrath. That's what makes baseball very interesting.
Sometimes you just do when you explode, and it looks like the hitless bats of the Cincinnati Steam are just finally ready, and the frustrations boiled over all into this drubbing in the 2nd inning of the Xenia Scouts. But good news for the Scouts, Lee Solomon will lead off the top of the 3rd inning, and Lance is coming off after Lee Solomon.
After Lee Solomon to start off the 3rd inning, it'll be Austin Orr. He struck out in his first at bat. And then it'll be Christian Mayer coming up to the plate, who was walked for the 23rd time this season and was eventually stranded over at 3rd.
And it's Christmas in July here at Max McLeary Field between the Xenia Scouts and the Cincinnati Steam as we head to the 3rd inning of action after 5 runs were plated by the Cincinnati Steam on the Xenia Scouts. Q McGrath walking a couple of those across the plate. So RBI single from Richard Rodriguez started off the scoring. And then it was Trey Gans with that 2 RBI single that really broke it open. And here comes Lee Solomon. And of course, his first plate appearance resulted in a solo home run over left center field. It was his 2nd of the season.
Q had allowed 6 earned runs coming into the day and then gave up 5 that last inning.
Here's the first pitch to Solomon. This is outside for a ball. Unbelievable to hear. Q, before his last start, had below a 1 ERA. Here's the 1-0 to Solomon. That one in there for a strike right down the middle. The shortstop originally from Columbus, Ohio. Went to Columbus Academy in Gahanna. 1-1 pitch, and that was way up top. 2-1 now from Nick Beard. Oh, Q struggling today. We saw Tony Campbell warming up earlier. 2-1 pitch now to Lee. That one in there for a strike. Lee's looking at that one. Evens it up at 2 apiece. 2 of the shortstop. Beer with 2 strikeouts on the day. He delivers. Swan chopped, and Beer stumbles. Is going to get to Rodriguez at second. Throws just in time. Very close play at first base. As Brian Gunning calls out Lee Solomon. That one was almost too close to call. That's going to send Lee back to the dugout.
And that one very easily could have went either way. The field umpire, Brian Gunning, took an extra second to call that one before he called out Lee.
Here comes Austin Orr. He shows bunt, lays it down, beautifully laid down bunt, picked up at third and not nearly in time as Reman's throw was got in the air, and nice job by Rozier to jump up and put it down, but a bunt single from Austin Orr.
That was something Coach Cates came up and talked about to us after our discipleship time about how if you can bunt, your average will just go up way higher than you think it would. And if you can lay down that bunt confidently, whether it's for a hit or for a sacrifice, it can help you out tremendously. And that's what Austin did right there.
Here comes Christian Binger. First pitch to him is outside corner for a strike. Binger walked for his 23rd time of the season in his first plate appearance. Getting the starter in the 3-hole. Normally bats number 2, but David Gaunt not playing today. Second pitch curves in there for a strike. Nick Beer aggressively going after Binger. So Austin Orr on first base. Here comes the 0-2 to Binger, and that one's way up top for a ball. 1-2 now to the second baseman.
Almost looks like they kind of made that into a pitch out to watch Austin Orr over at first.
And you see Reman on third base now, definitely playing more in than we saw with Austin Orr. That one curves hit towards Reman. Here's the 5, the 4, throw to first, and in time for the 3. And another double play to end the inning with the 5-4-3 puts away Christian Binger. So we're down with the top of the third. Scouts still trailing 5-1. And it's for the third consecutive inning. The Scouts leave one stranded.
Didn't leave anybody stranded with a double play.
You're right. Didn't leave anyone stranded. So 2 runners left on today.
That's the dirtiest player of the game. Sponsored by Kroger's.
He's going to be back out there for another inning of work. I don't know how long the leash is going to be. We saw the same kind of thing yesterday with Dylan, but it wasn't quite the same amount of struggles that Q has had today. His shortest outing of the year, I want to say, was 5 innings against the Locos. So we'll have to see if he can at least get to that, if nothing else.
It was 6 before last week's outing against Lyman. All of the starts before that were victories. Lima, he got a no decision. And unless they keep Q in, the Scouts bust out the bats in the top of the 4th. It looks like Q's not going to get that 6th victory of the season again today. He leads the league in wins with 5 on the year. A couple of Joes with 4. Q only won halfway to double digits. As after 10 members of this team batted back in the bottom of the second inning, Lance, who's coming up here to start the bottom of the third.
And coming up to the plate,
Andy Rozier.
looks like it'll be Andy Rozier, then Mitchell Lindensky, and Austin Holloway.
So here comes Rozier. He singled last time and came around to score. See how Q McGrath does here in the bottom of the third. First pitch outside corner for a strike for Q. Rozier from Huntington University. Again, batting .343 on the year. Tops on the team. 0-1 pitch. Swung on that one's fouled. Past the Scouts' bullpen. Might cause some trouble if he could strain it out. But now 0-2. McGrath working early on the first baseman. That one tipped into the glove of Lincoln Reed. Unable to hang on with it, and Andy Rozier will be given another life at 0-2. We'll do it again.
Yeah, that one Lincoln just wasn't able to hold on to behind the dish. It was hit very hard by Rozier, even though it just barely hit off his bat.
Rozier will measure up his stick. Step back up to the plate. Q's been ready. From the windup, here comes the 0-2 pitch. Swung on and chopped towards third. And Pat Hyde, the manager of the Cincinnati Steam. So 0-2 now. We'll do it again. Scouts down 5-1. We're here in the bottom of the third inning. No outs, no one on. Andy Rozier steps back up to the plate. Here comes the 0-2 again. That one shot from Q, and it takes a weird hop past Christian Binger into center field, and it's going to be the second single of the day in consecutive innings for Andy Rozier.
And that, like you said, took a very weird hop. Christian dove right behind second base to try and snag that one up, and it literally just popped right over his glove, did everything he could to knock that one down. Just took a very awkward bounce.
So only the third hit of the day given up by Q McGrath, but because of those 4 walks, you have a 5-1 lead. Pick up a 10 towards first. Rozier slides back in plenty of time. Now up to the plate for the Steam will be Mitchell Lindensky. He flew out to center field last time as Levi Gilchrist ranged all the way to left center to put him away. Second throw to him, and that one in there for a strike. 0-1 now to the left fielder from Shawnee State University. So Q will step off as Lindensky calls time. Rozier back to first base will now take his lead away from K.O. Giddings, who holds him on the first base bag. 0-1 count towards Lindensky. Here comes the throw. Curves in there for a strike. 0-2 now to the left fielder, looking for his first hit of the ball game.
And that's the benefit if you're Q. If you can get ahead of guys, you can work that curveball in. But if you get behind, you're not going to be able to throw it as much.
0-2 count. Here comes the pitch from Q, and that one gets him swinging on the curve. That was outside of the zone. Lindensky goes down for the second time today. Third strikeout of the evening for Q. Now 1 down here in the bottom of the third with 1 on, and a 5-1 lead from the Cincinnati Steam. That's going to bring Austin Holloway. Ground out to Christian Binger last time. First pitch to him is in there for a strike. 0-1 to the catcher from Hanover College. And again, Austin, only his second game with the Steam, looking for his first hit. Now 0-4 on the year. Q looks at first, now throws home. In there for a strike, now 0-2.
Q definitely doing a better job of getting ahead of these hitters here in this third inning.
Andy Rozier gets his lead off the first base bag in his dirty jersey after he's had to slide in back to first on a few pickoff attempts. Here comes that 0-2 pitch and swung on and missed. And that's going to seat Holloway for the second time today. And the 4th strikeout of the day for Q, as he's got the last 2 batters to go away swinging. And here comes Austin Riemann. Runner on first, 2 down. 5-1 Steam. First pitch to the third baseman is a bit outside for a ball. 1-0. Riemann walked last time on a 3-1 count. Eventually was scored. Here comes that 1-0, and that one's going to be hit foul. Left of the third baseline, right in front of Steam coach Pat Hyde, and that's going to even up at 1-1.
And that ball was hit incredibly hard down that third baseline. Just happened to get a lot to the left of that third base bag.
Rozier gets his lead. Q, just focus on home. That curveball does not drop. 2-1 now from McGrath. We know Riemann will be patient. He will have to throw it in the zone if he wants to get out. Austin, that one's going to be hit high in the air. Looks like Lee Solomon's getting under that one, and he'll put it away. So the Steam leave 1 on and do not score here in the bottom of the third, but still with a very comfortable 5-1 lead as we head to the 4th inning of play.
We'll have to see if the Scouts bats can wake up sooner rather than later. If they don't wake up soon, we might have to see Zach Wiley throw them out and tell them to wake up again.
Because they are down 5-1 as Nick Beard steps Up to the rubber again. Again, this is the first time the Scouts have seen Nick Beer this season. Didn't see him in either of the first 2 games they played him. Scouts and Steam will be in action again tomorrow at 4:05. Down 5-1 here tonight at Max McLeary Field on the campus of Western Hills High School. So you see some soccer behind right field. Also semi-pro football played last time these 2 teams played here at the Western Hills campus.
And I think that's the reason this field is as awkward as it is. As we mentioned with the dimensions earlier, it goes 327 down the left field line. There's 285 down the right field line with the football field very nearby in the background. They couldn't extend the baseball field anymore because of the, I'm assuming, pre-existing football field.
Which is why they have the 30-foot, what we've dubbed chain link monster out in right field. As Kyle Carnahan steps up to the plate. First pitch to Mr. Hot Corner is a bit high from Beard. Kyle single last time on a check swing that bounced off his bat, blooped into right field, and it was his 7th straight game with a hit. That one on the outside corner for a strike to the third baseman from Washburn. The lone Ichabod in tonight's lineup for the first time this season, and his game number 30 on the year. David Gaunt gets his first day of rest. 1-1 is a bit low. Now 2-1 to Kyle Carnahan.
After Kyle Carnahan will be the real meat of the lineup, and Cale Giddings, he grounded into a 1-6-3 double play. And then it'll be Lincoln Reed. He grounded out to Beard at the mound.
So here comes a 2-1 to Carnahan. That one's hit well into left field and drifts foul. Just had a bit of a slice on that baseball, and instead of a double, it will be a 2-2 count. Originally looked very good, but just a bit of a tail on it late. And it was landed in foul territory, much to the chagrin of Kyle Carnahan.
We've seen a lot of balls that just miss from Kyle, whether it's just missing the line or just miss getting over the wall. It's been a lot of just misses from Kyle this season.
Kyle's been swinging the bat very well as of late. Now facing the 2-2 pitch. That one curves, and he gets a little bit under that one. Hit to right center field, and be put away by Burkhart, the right fielder. So 1 up, 1 down for the Scouts here in the top of the 4th inning. Still down by that 5-1 score. That's going to bring up the big man, Cale Giddings, the first baseman from Lake Erie College, as Lance mentioned, grounded out to Beer last time in a double play. Lincoln Reed also grounded out to the pitcher, who's on deck. First pitch to Cale, and that one misses a bit high to Giddings. 1-0 now. First baseman from Pickering North High School in Columbus. 1-0 pitch, swung on and missed.
Last night, Cale got his first RBI on the season when he drove in Christian Binger in the 8th inning to tie it up at 2.
Here comes that 1-1, and that one's outside. Now 2-1, as that curveball misses far away. Good job by Holloway to grab that one. 2-1 from Beard, who's throwing from the windup in his Nike cleats. Here comes that 2-1. That one's driven to center field, and Treg Habercorn will put it away. So a well-hit ball by Cale Giddings. He put a charge into it, but fortunately for the team, Treg Habercorn in perfect position. Just had to backpedal a few steps to put away Giddings.
Kind of like we've seen a lot of just misses from Kyle. We've seen a lot of times this season when Cale is in the lineup, he'll hit the ball really hard. It just happens to always be right at fielders, so it's not for a lack of contact, just hits it right at the fielders.
And that Lincoln Reed, first pitch swings, picked up by Jernigan at short, throws to first in time. That's going to retire the side. Scouts go 1, 2, 3 here in the top of the 4th inning. Still struggling to swing the bat, trailing the Cincinnati by the 5-1 score. Only run of the day for the Scouts was the leadoff batter, Lee Solomon, and a solo shot to left center field.
So in that inning, it wasn't a lack of getting the ball into play. They got the ball into the field very well. As Q's going to be back out there once again. You got to just wonder if they can find a way to get it in those gaps. They've done a good job of getting the bat on the ball, especially that last half inning. Carnahan had a nice fly ball towards right field, and Kale had a nice one to pretty much the deepest part of the park in center field. And Lincoln had a nice little ground ball, but just wasn't able to get that one past Jernigan at short. So they did a nice job that last inning of getting the bat on the ball, just weren't able to get it down and play for a base hit.
So we'll head to the bottom of the inning, and Lance Westside coming up for the Steam.
For the Steam, they will be back to the top of their order here in the bottom of the fourth with Richard Rodriguez. He's 1 for 2 today with an RBI single. Then it'll be Brad Burkhardt. He's 0 for 1, but does have an RBI on a base on balls. And then same kind of story for Trey Habercorn. He's 0 for 2 today. Was hit by a pitch in his first at-bat and then walked. And that scored a run also back in that second inning.
So Habercorn, without an official recorded at bat after he was hit and walked, but he has had a successful day at the plate.
Second baseman, number 5, Richard Rodriguez.
Here comes Rodriguez. Late addition to the Steam team. We did not see him in the first go-around between these two squads. Hugh McGrath back on the mound here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Tony Campbell was warming up earlier. First pitch to Rodriguez is in there for a strike on the inside corner. Q with 4 strikeouts on the day. Also has given up 5 earned runs. Here's the 0-1. That one misses low and outside, even up at 1-1 to the second baseman. Q steps back on the rubber. He wheels and deals. That one does not break in enough, and it'll remain high for a 2-1 on the breaking ball.
Rodriguez came into today hitting 276.
Here comes the 2-1. That one is going to be hit high in the air. Christian Bringer, Miles Wright, Kale Giddings all going for it. Miles Wright calls everyone off. And after a little bit of danger there between the triangle of right field first and second, Miles Wright puts it away and 1 up, 1 down to start the bottom of the fourth inning.
That's exactly what you got to do out there. Hitting right field when it's a ball that potentially 3 different players can't catch. Usually it's going to be right over top of Kale over at first, so you don't expect him to get to it. Of course, you still have to make the effort, and Christian Binger made the extra effort trying to get out to that one in time, and he probably could have got to that one, but Miles Wright calls him off to make the catch.
That's a check swing that tips from Burkhardt. Carnahan at third, picks up, throws to first in time. Brad Burkhardt tried to check his swing, and off the top of the barrel, rolled slowly to Mr. Hot Corner, Kyle Carnahan, who was able to run up, pick it up, and throw to first in time.
Ironically enough, in the first inning, Kyle Carnahan reached on a check swing, and he throws out. Burkhardt tried to do the same exact thing.
And this lefty-lefty battle is Trey Habercorn's up to the plate for his 3rd time of the day. Was hit by a pitch in the first and walked in the second. So 1-0 as the first pitch misses away. Here comes from Q. That one misses outside as well. Nice frame drive on Reed, but not enough. So a 2-0 count now to the 6'3" center fielder. And here comes the throw from Q, and that one misses a bit inside. As Q just smiles at that one, he thought he got that inside corner. So 3-0 to Habercorn. Here comes the pitch. That one inside as well. So Habercorn has been hit and walked twice. So still doesn't have official at bat, but has been on all 3 times. It's the 5th walk of the day from Q.
Q had 11 walks coming into the day, so it's almost close to doubling up that total.
Now Trey Gans walks out to the plate. He had a 2 RBI single last time. Habercorn's on the move. Here's the throw by Reed, and in plenty of time as Habercorn on a breaking pitch. A good one to steal one from the center fielder.
That'll be Habercorn's 7th steal on the season.
So now with 2 down here, 5-1 lead for the Cincinnati Steam in the bottom of the 4th. Treg Habercorn gets in scoring position after stealing second. 0-1 to Gann. Swung on and hit towards left field. They're going to hold up Habercorn. Wyatt Hogan was throwing home. It would have been a nice play at the plate. We would have seen what would happen there, but holding up Habercorn, and after the second consecutive single by Gans, Steam threatening again with runners on the corners and Andre Jernigan at the dish.
So as Habercorn got on twice by the way of the law, Gans has got on twice by the way of the hit. And then put runners on the corners for Andre Jernigan.
Jernigan batted twice back in the second. Was walked and then flew out to Levi Gilcrease in center to end the inning. Shortstop from Xavier University came in today, batting .231. Gans on first, Habercorn on third. Q lines and throws. That one's chipped backwards towards the backstop. Very shallow backstop here at Max McLeary Field.
Yeah, I have to say this is one of the shorter backstops in the league. This, of course, also a high school field, so a little different dimensionally.
So 0-1 now to Jernigan. That one's hit high in the air, but foul. This is going to bounce out of play, and now 0-2 to Jernigan. Hugh McGrath trying to get out of this inning with that 5-1 deficit intact. Runners on first and third, 2 outs, 0-2 pitch. That one's hit past Cale Giddings in first, in play. And it looks like Jernigan is going to get to second on the double. Gans originally hesitated moving from second to third, but it's going to be an RBI double for Andre Jernigan, who is now 1 for 2.
That one was a close play as well. Down that first base line, Cale tried to dive and get to that one, just out of reach of that glove on his left hand. That's going to bring a meeting with Coach Cates, and I'm pretty sure he just signaled to the bullpen.
So that's the 6th earned run of the day for Q McGrath, who came into today's contest with 6 earned runs given up on the season. Just not Q's afternoon. Very unfortunate as his parents have come all the way in from California to see him today, and he's going to be done after 3 2/3 innings pitched. His shortest start of the season. And that's going to bring out Tony Campbell to the mound. And Lance, what can you tell us about the righty, Tony Campbell?
Tony Campbell has an array of pitches, also sports a knuckleball that haven't seen too much of this season. He arrived later on this season, comes to us from Nyack College in New York, just about 10 to 15 minutes out of downtown New York City. And for the season, for Tony Campbell, this will be his 7th appearance, has gone 7 innings, has given him 9 hits, 7 runs, all of them earned, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts, and has also given up 2 doubles. So he hasn't seen as much time as a lot of the other players for the Scouts, as he's just made some quick relief appearances, hasn't been with the team quite all season. So he's coming in here in the 4th inning, and we could see it for him to go a lot of innings today to save the bullpen, because there's going to be a lot of games on a lot of days. We're not going to have Monday off like originally planned due to the rain with the Copperheads on Thursday. So I think it's 8 games in 7 days or something like that with a doubleheader. We have a week
9 and 8.
Something like that.
I believe so. It's like Lance mentioned, Scouts playing from today all the way through next Saturday. And that will be finished with a doubleheader against the Northern Ohio Baseball Club at Grady's Field. So Q's official day, he goes 3 2/3, strikes out 4, has 5 walks, is up 6 hits and 6 earned runs. Campbell's a Warrior from Nyack College, same college as Scouts GM Taylor Hargrove. That's how Tony was first contacted about coming to this team. Tony, also a high school teammate of Miles Wright out of Katy Taylor High School in Katy, Texas, suburb of Houston.
And the funny part of that is they didn't even know about the stuff with the Miles. It was just the Nyack College connection, like you mentioned. And Miles found out basically the same way everyone on the team did. They said, we got this pitcher from Nyack, and then he said his name, and Miles, of course, knew who he was as he played high school ball with him.
And it's going to bring up Andy Rozier to the dish with runners on second and third, and Trey Gans and Andre Jernigan. Rozier's 2 for 2 today. A couple of singles scored back in the second inning. Scouts trailing 6-1, and he was going to have to rely on the Navy and Gray to get a lot of runs across the board, and that one fouls off of the thigh of Lincoln Reed, where Q's going to take his first loss of the season.
Yeah, Scouts bats are going to have to make up for a lot, as we saw the worst outing of the season from Q, and we didn't really see that coming as he just missed a lot of his spots today and ended up walking a lot of guys, and 5 had just 11 coming into the day.
So 0-1 from Campbell to Rozier. 6-1 score, Steam on top 2 outs. That one curves in, hit right back to Campbell. Ice cream cone in the top of his glove, and that's going to end the 4th inning, but not before the Steam put another across the board and end the day of Q McGrath. They do leave 2 on in scoring position with Trey Gans and Andre Jernigan on second and third, but the one run that crossed home plate gives the Steam a 5-run lead now.
You got to imagine that Nick Beard likes the cushion he has out on the mound. Always don't get the best run support by the Steam. We mentioned they had almost 20 innings straight without getting a run across the plate. So this is a team that struggles in the hitting category, especially when it comes to scoring runs. So to have a production of 6 runs so far from the Steam, Nick Beard's got to like that going out to the mound.
Scouts struggling tonight down in Max McLeary Field in Cincinnati, Ohio. We have some games going out on the field, as you can see on our webcam here at Christmas in July for the Cincinnati Steam at Max McLeary Field. And some scoring updates from around the league. The Lima Locos lead the Hamilton Joe 6-4 in the top of the 5th inning. Licking County Settlers leading the Southern Ohio Copperheads 4-0 in the bottom of the 4th. And Bob Wren Stadium in the bottom of the 4th up in Flat Rock, the Monarchs and the Ironmen tied at 4 apiece. Here at Max McLeary Field, the Xenia Scouts trailing going into the top of the 5th inning, 6-1 against the Cincinnati Steam, a team that they swept the last time these two squads played.
Not exactly the part of the lineup you'd like to be coming up for the Scouts. Will be the bottom of the order, 7, 8, 9. Led off by Levi Gilcrease. He struck out looking his first at bat. That'll be Wyatt Hogan. He reached with a walk. He worked into a full count, was eventually stranded, and then Miles Wright grounded out to Andre Jernigan at short to end that 2nd inning.
So first pitch in there for a strike to Levi Gilcrease to start this 5th inning. Scouts down 6-1 against the Cincinnati Steam. Here comes the 0-1. That one's hit right towards us, but caught by the netting, thankfully. 0-2 now to Gilcrease, who struck out looking his first time up. His 34th strikeout on the year. Now quickly down 0-2 to Nick Beard in his 5th inning of action. 0-2 pitch. That one misses a bit low. 1-2 now to the center fielder from Baylor.
That was a nice curve that looked like it might have just caught in the zone, but just outside, says Horn.
And that one misses high. 2-2 to Gilcrease. Good eye from Levi. One of the tops on the team in walks on the year. 2-2 pitch. Swung on that one's hit towards center field. Habercorn on the run. And it's going to drop. The diving Andre Jernigan. Diving backwards. Can't make the play. And the bloop single from Levi Gilcrease starts off this 5th inning.
Habercorn was just playing a little too deep out in center field. Jernigan had to try and run to that because Habercorn wasn't going to be able to, so he had to try and make a nice diving play, but wasn't able to come up with that one. And Levi will be in there to start off this inning with a base hit. And that's something that didn't happen a lot for the Scouts yesterday. They weren't able to get their leadoff runners on, and that came back to bite them against the Copperheads.
First pitch to Wyatt Hogan is a bit high. I'm wondering if it was a pitch out, as Levi Gilcrease does have a lot of speed on first base.
Levi with 6 steals, no times being caught on the season.
Hogan walked to start off his day at the plate back in the second inning. A pickoff attempt is going to go high. Bounces back in the field, but Levi Gilcrease going to walk to second easily, and that's going to be an error on Beard. So first error for either of these two teams. This team a little too worried about Levi Gilcrease on first, as the pickoff attempt goes very, very errant. And it puts Levi in scoring position with no outs here in the top of the 5th inning. 1-0 count to Wyatt Hogan. Here comes the delivery. No. Beard steps off the rubber. Looks at Levi Gilcrease. No one holding him on, though. See if Jernigan starts to slowly walk in there. Maybe Rodriguez at second base. And looks over his left shoulder as Rodriguez fakes towards the back here. Because the throw towards the plate. That one's a bit high. 2-0 now to Wyatt Hogan.
Definitely a little preoccupied by Beard. Is Levi Gilcrease out at second base, so reached second after the error from Beard throwing over to pick him off at first.
Levi got on first with a single that blew to center field. 2-0. Misses high again, so 3-0 to Wyatt Hogan. And he's going to be getting a hard red light here. We'll be watching this pitch 100%, trying to draw his second walk of the ball game.
And all those misses from Beard look to be in the exact same spot, wondering if Levi'd be on the move.
Here comes that 3-0. And now misses high again, so Wyatt Hogan will get to first base. And that double play ball is set up here. It almost looked intentional. Not like an intentional walk, but he missed high every single time. Every single time we saw Holloway stand up, it looks like it was planned, and that's going to put Wyatt Hogan on base for the second time today with 2 walks.
Yeah, you got to wonder if that was planned, because like I said, I think it has to do with the speed of Levi Gilcrease over at second after reaching on the error from Beard throwing over to pick him off at first. Got to second base on that error, and they had to think that he could be on the move to third, so you got to think that's probably the best spot, especially with the right-handed hitting Hogan at the plate. Throw that one up a little too high. You don't want to go too far outside, because then they have to make a different maneuver to get it over to third base had Levi been on the move.
So bring up Miles Wright. He struggled yesterday with runners on base as he went 0 for 4 twice. Had runners on. Both times at least one in scoring position. Levi Gilcrease in scoring position on second base. Wyatt Hogan on first. 6-1. Steam lead the Scouts here in the top of the 5th inning. Miles Wright in position to do some damage and try to chip into that lead. First pitch to him. Shows bunt. That one goes higher off of the glove of Holloway. He didn't know where it was going. Luckily, heads up base running from Gilcrease and Hogan. That one just popped out of his mitt. Looks like he was pretending to hold on to it, but both Gilcrease and Wyatt Hogan knew what was up, and they advanced on the pass ball.
And that was a strange play, because I thought with Riemann playing a little more shallow over at third, that Miles wouldn't be bunting, even though there's no up, but he showed it, pulled it back for ball one, and just a mishandle there by Holloway behind the dish.
Now 1-0 to Miles, and that one misses outside. 2-0 to Wright. Both runners in scoring position now after the pass ball on Holloway. Scouts down 6-1. Again, this is only Austin Holloway's second start of the year for this team. Here comes that 2-0 pitch, and that one gets the outside corner for a strike to the right fielder, Miles Wright. 2-1 now. So Lance mentioned earlier, Miles so effective the last time he came to McLeary Field in that game. He was roping it past third base. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Swung in towards Rodriguez and gets past him at second. That's going to send home Levi Gilcrease, and the lead is cut to 4, 6-2 after the RBI single from Miles Wright.
And, nice hit there from Miles. Just barely got that past the glove of Rodriguez at second. And also, wise move from Coach Cates to hold up the slower Wyatt Hogan out at third. Not a slow Wyatt Hogan, just a slower Wyatt Hogan. Don't want to diminish the speed too much out there.
That's going to bring him Lee Solomon. The Scouts going back to the top of their lineup for the third time today. Lee 1 for 2 did have that home run to start off this ball game. First pitch to him is high. 1-0 now to Solomon. Miles Wright with 7 stolen bases on the year. Second on the team to Lee Solomon, who's at the dish. Wyatt Hogan on third. 1-0 pitch. That one's high. Holloway looks at first and then third at Wyatt Hogan. No movement from either. As Miles scampers back to the first base bag. 2-0 now to Solomon. 6-2 score. No outs here in the top of the 5th inning. First throw. That one is high again, so 3-0. So runner on first and third. 3-0 count to Lee Solomon. Beard working from the stretch. Here's a 3-0 pitch, and this time he gets the strike. Right in the bottom of the zone. 3-1 to Solomon. You have to wonder if Lee will still be try to load the bases with no outs. 3-1 from Beard incoming. That one drops on the outside corner for a strike. Another beautiful pitch from Nick Beard.
I think that one might have been a tad outside, but a nice frame job by Holloway made it definitely look like a strike. Makes it a full count.
Miles Wright on first. Wyatt Hogan on third. 3-2 pitch, and that one misses outside. And the second walk of the inning, this one to Lee Solomon, loads the bases for the Scouts.
Austin Orr, who reached on a bunt hit single back in the third. He struck out back in inning number 1.
That we're going to see a bunt attempt here with Austin Reamer and Andy Rozier playing in on first and third. So we're going to have a meeting on the mound. Boston Holloway and Nick Beard. Beard struggled a little bit this inning. Scouts down 6-2. Q McGrath got the start for the Navy and Gray today. Struggled. Gave up 6 earned runs on 6 hits and had 5 walks. The Scouts trying to come back here in the top of the 5th inning. Bases loaded. 1 run's already come across. No outs. Austin Orr at the plate. Designated hitter from Union University. First pitch to him is well inside for a ball. Curve towards his wrist. Q McGrath did walk 2 runs across the plate today. Scouts will love the same result here from Nick Beard. 1-0 count. Here's the pitch. Austin check swings, but it's in there anyway. 1-1 now to the Jackson, Tennessee native.
And I think he probably would have swung at that one if it wasn't going to be the first strike. Wanted to make sure he saw one before swinging the bat.
1-1 count from Beard. Here comes the delivery. That one hangs up high. 2-1 on the curveball that didn't break very well. Wyatt Hogan on third. Miles Wright on second. Lee Solomon on first. Austin Orr at the dish. 2-1 from Beard. Here's the pitch. Swung and fouled backwards from Austin Orr, and that's going to even things up at 2-2. Levi Gilcrease started off the top of the 5th inning with a single. Advanced the second on an air from Beard, and then the third on a pass ball was hit home for Miles Wright. 2-2 pitch, and that one's well outside on the curve. Full count. The payoff pitch incoming to Austin Orr.
This is his second straight batter he's had a full count against, and he walked Lee Solomon last time it happened.
Bases loaded, no out, 6-2 score. Payoff pitch. That one's lined back up the middle. That's going to score Wyatt Hogan. They're sending home Miles Wright, and Lee Solomon's going to get to third. Austin Orr is going to extend that single to a double, and the lead is cut to 2, 6-4. Now the score. Scouts still trailing, but getting back in this game in the top of the 5th inning of 2 runners on in scoring position and no outs.
And Austin Orr had just 2 RBIs coming into the day. And he now doubles up that total with 4. So good day so far from Austin Orr. He's now 2 for 3, and it looks like his team may make a pitching change.
4 earned runs now for Nick Beard, who is dealing before struggling this inning. So he'll go down with 4 innings recorded, so he will not get the victory in this contest. And he's going to be upset about that, as we'll see a new pitcher. We'll figure out who that is as soon as we figure out who's coming into the ball game. As Nick Cecil is coming into the game. Miles Wright and Wyatt Hogan were just doubled in by Austin Orr. Lee Solomon advanced to third. So 2 scouts in scoring position here on the top of the 5th inning. 3 runs have already come across. Each of the first 5 batters in this 5th inning have gone on safely. 3 due to hits, 2 due to walks.
Nick Cecil on the season. This will be his 6th appearance out of the bullpen. He's gone 9 and a third innings pitched. Has 7 strikeouts, 4 walks, giving him 9 hits on the season. Last time out was against the Ironmen. And he gave up 1 earned run in 2 innings of work, a couple of walks, gave up just 1 hit. Cecil from Lebanon, Ohio. He just finished his sophomore season at Sinclair Community College, a college we've seen a lot of local products in the area on some of the teams. We have, of course, John Crawford and Steve Jurgens on the scouts, neither of them full-time players, though.
So teammates of a couple of scouts pitchers. The Tartans of Sinclair Community College in Dayton. He's a lefty. After dealing with the righty, Nick Beard, the Steam mixing it up a bit. Definitely sets up for the possibility of maybe David Gaume being substituted into the game later on, who David didn't get the start tonight for the first time this season.
Final line from Beard went 4 innings as he wasn't able to get it out here in the 5th inning. Give up 6 hits, 4 runs so far. He will be responsible for both Lee Solomon and Austin Orr on the base paths, though, and had 4 walks to go with 2 strikeouts, and 2 of those walks were against Wyatt Hogan.
And that's going to be Christian Binger. He's 0 for 1 today. Binger hit into a 5-4-3 double play that ended the 3rd inning, also walked back in the first. First pitch to him, that one's in the dirt. Good block from Austin Holloway. That would have sent home the speedy Lee Solomon. Not a deep backstop here, but you got to think Lee Solomon's coming home no matter what.
Yeah, Lee Solomon, one of the faster players on the team, so as long as it doesn't take a crazy bounce off of that backstop, you got to think a pass ball would send him home.
Austin Orr also with some speed. Gets his lead on second base, 1-0 pitch. Now in there for a strike to Binger. First strike we've seen from Nick Cecil. The second Nick we've seen on the game out of the Steam bullpen. 1-1 now to Christian Binger. That one is outside and away. A lot of spin on that one. Again, a good block from Holloway. Lee Solomon chomping at the bit over there at third base to come home. No outs here. 6-4 score. Scouts getting back in this contest have already put 3 across the board here in the top of the 5th inning. Here's the 2-1, and that one misses a little bit low. Now 3-1 to Christian Binger. First base is open. Binger walked for his 23rd time of the season earlier today. (3-1) now to Binger. Here it comes. And that one outside corner for a strike. So it'll be a full count to Christian. The second full count he's had today. Solomon on third. He was walked. Austin Orr had a 2 RBI double. Stands on second. Payoff pitch from Cecil incoming. That one Swan hit towards left field. It will be caught. Lee Solomon's tagging up, throwing home and it'll be cut off by Cecil. Probably a wise decision because Solomon was going to be in there in time on a throw from Lendensky. That a sacrifice fly. RBI from Christian Binger makes this a 1-run ball game.
So that run will be attributed towards Nick Beard. That'll give him 5 right now, but is still responsible for Austin Orr at second.
So Kyle Carnahan now up to the dish. 1 for 2 today. Singled in the first, flew out to right in the 4th inning. Austin Orr still standing in scoring position on second. Still only 1 out for the Scouts here in the top of the 5th inning. They've exploded. Lance and I were waiting for it, for those bats to finally wake up and get going. And it's happened here in the top of the 5th inning with a 6-5 score against the Cincinnati Steam. We're down 6-1. First pitch from Cecil to Carnahan. That one's going to be flied out of play towards the right. 0-1 count now to the third baseman. Cecil lefty against the righty Carnahan. Checks an Orr, throws home. That one curves low for a ball, evened up at 1-1 to Mr. Hot Corner.
Kyle is 1 for 2 today. Had a check swing hit back in the 1st inning and was eventually out as a part of the double play.
So this inning, 3 hits, 2 walks, all given up by Beard. That one from Carnahan is hit to deep left field. It's going, and gone. Kyle Carnahan goes deep again. Number 5 on the year, and the Scouts take the lead 7-6 as Kyle Carnahan is on fire.
Carnahan has been killing the ball the last couple weeks or so. Has a 6-game hitting streak, and that's going to be
7 now.
7 now, excuse me. And that's going to be his 5th home run on the season. And he has just been killing the ball recently. And that's why he came into the day in the cleanup spot.
So one of those runs is going to be earned to Nick Beard, one of them to Nick Cecil. That ends Beard's day with 6 earned runs, the same as Q McGrath. Now Scouts lead 7-6. Cale Giddings at the plate. First pitch he sees is a strike. Still only 1 out. Base is empty now. As the Scouts have plated 6 here in the top of the 5th. Second pitch from Cecil goes high. Now 1-1. Kyle Carnahan's been a man possessed recently. His last few games must be something to look at. That one's going to be hit up high in the air. Callaway trying to get towards that one, but it's going to foul out of play right behind the Steam dugout.
Please return the foul balls to the concession stand. Thank you.
1-2 count to the big man, Cale Giddings, who's 0 for 2 today. Flew out to center last time, grounded out to a 1-6-3 double play in the 1st inning to end that inning. Now here comes the 1-2 pitch. Swung on. That one was driven to left field, but foul. Cale will look to straighten that one out. We'll do it again. Out. 1-2. And here comes that 1-2 pitch, and that one does not break back into the zone. Evened up at 2-2 now to Cale Giddings. This is the 8th batter of the Steam have faced here in the top of the 5th inning. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That one swung foul back into the net right in front of us. Scares a couple of fans sitting in the front row. We'll do it again at 2-2 after another foul from Cale Giddings. Here comes the delivery from Cecil. That one's outside. Cale has worked back to a full count. So a payoff pitch incoming. And that one misses outside. Cale Giddings will take a 90-foot stroll to first base. And the Scouts hot hitting continues. Cale Giddings sitting on first, and another great at bat for Cale. That's now his 7th walk of the season.
You look back at the last 7 days, like you mentioned, for the Scouts have been doing a lot better as of late. A lot of guys right around the 333 numbers. They check on Kale over at first. Binger with 368, and Carnahan and Austin Orr hitting 333 along with Lincoln Reed.
Lincoln Reed now at the plate. Second pitch he sees. Or first pitch he sees, misses outside for a ball. 1-0 to Lincoln. First throw was a pickoff attempt to Kale at first when he was back in plenty of time. And that one bounces into Rozier. Good stop. We already saw one error this inning from Nick Beard on the mound as Levi Gilcrease, who started off this inning with a single, was advanced to second on the air. Cale Giddings almost the same fate. 1-0 now at the plate to Lincoln Reed, and he swings, hits that one towards center field. Habercorn racing back and gets to it in time. Cale Giddings had to run back to first, and well hit ball from Lincoln. But Habercorn in right center field will be able to put it away for the second out of the inning.
And that was nicely hit by Lincoln, just able to be caught in deep center field by Habercorn. So not much you can do about that one if you're Lincoln. You hit the ball hard somewhere, just happened to be able to be fielded by Habercorn out in center.
So Levi Gilcrease up for the second time this inning. As the Steam have batted around in one inning today, now the Scouts have as well. Cale Giddings on first, 2 outs. First pitch, low from Cecil. 1-0 now to Levi.
And the good thing about the Scouts coming back in this, Q's not going to get a loss.
That's very true. Hugh McGrath will not get lost. His 5-0 record will stay spotless. 1-0 now to Levi Gilcrease, and that one in the dirt as well. So 2-0 to the center fielder.
Q's record may be spotless, but his ERA is going to go up a little bit.
It will take a hike. Luckily, he got the support of his teammates to keep his win-loss untouchable. Another throw towards Gilcrease. That one misses low again. 3 pitches from Nick Cecil. 3 pitches that have gone low. And you have to imagine that Levi will be taking here with a 3-0 count. Cale Giddings on first base. He was walked from Cecil. 3-0 pitch. And that one misses outside. So the second walk we've seen from the pitcher from Sinclair Community College. And that's going to send Holloway up to the mound to talk to him. And Pat Hyde to the mound.
Which means the pitching change because it's the second one this inning.
Number 34, Wyatt Hogan.
Pat Hyde bringing out another pitcher, and that's going to end the day for Nick Cecil. The runners on first and second for the Scouts. Up 7-6 after putting 6 runs across the dish in this inning. We're trailing 6-1, and I got to tell you, it felt gloomy up here in the press box. Nothing going on either side on offense or defense for Xenia until the explosion here on the top of the 5th. We try to figure out who the pitcher is now coming into the game. That'll be Ken Ruberg, a right-hander from Thomas More University. As Ken Ruberg, 6'3", 200 pounds. A junior originally from Cincinnati, Ohio, so a hometown kid. And the first non-Nick on the mound for the Steam. And the second righty. Scouts have seen, you saw a little bit of a sidearm approach from Ruberg.
For Ruberg, this will be his 8th appearance on the season, all of them out of the bullpen. 0-for-1 record, 6.17 ERA, has 1 save in his 11 2/3 innings of work, 6 strikeouts, 4 walks, 12 hits, and his last outing was against the Joes. That was on July 2nd. He went 1 inning, gave up 2 runs, 3 hits, 1 strikeout, did not have a decision in that contest.
And he did throw against the Scouts earlier this year back here at McLeary Field.
And against the Scouts, he went 2 1/3, gave up a run, 2 hits, 1 walk, and he faced 11 total batters.
So we can have your attention, please. The new pitcher on the
So let's be the third pitcher for the Steam today. Second, third of the inning. As I forgot that Nick Beer started things off, and he's the one that struggled before. Nick Cecil replaced him. Cecil Faced 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 batters before he was taken out. And now Wyatt Hogan at the dish for his second time this inning. He's been walked twice today.
And if you had told me after that second inning finish that the Scouts would come back and take the lead in the 5th inning, no less, I would have been hard pressed to think the Scouts came back at all. But they do it in the 5th inning. I would have called you crazy. So that just shows you the resiliency of the Scouts never getting down and out in a contest.
Scouts have put 6 across the board here. First pitch to Hogan from Ruberg in there for a strike. The other night against the Licking County Sellers, Scouts did put 7 across in 1 inning. I believe that was the most in an inning on the season for the Scouts. 6 so far here in the top of the 5th. Giddings on second, Gilcrease on first. They're both walked on. 0-1 from Ruberg. That one's going to be lined right back up the middle. And Cale Giddings is going to be stopped. Okay. I was wondering a bit that they're going to send the big man home. Cale Giddings got a few feet off a third before I think they realized, you should come back here, big fella.
Probably not the best idea to send him, because by the time he was stopped, he was like 4 feet from that third base bag. So he would have been gunned down after that base hit single from Wyatt Hogan, his first hit in quite a few games.
And this will be the 12th batter of the half inning for the Scout, Miles Wright, who an RBI single last time. Now with bases loaded, 2 outs here, has a chance to break the game even more open. 0-1 now after the slider crosses for a strike to Miles. Ken Ruberg just gave up his first hit of the afternoon.
And the last time Wyatt had a hit was June 22nd at Northern Ohio.
Here's the 0-1 to Miles Wright. That one misses low and away. 1-1 to the side on Ken Ruberg. He pitches off the left side of the rubber, looking towards home plate. Right side looking from your computer screen at home. 7-6, Scouts lead. 2 outs, bases loaded. Miles Wright's going to take time. It looks like he got some dirt in his eye or maybe a bug or two. He's going to shake it off. And the right fielder from St. Edward's University in Austin, Texas, will head back to the plate.
Miles does wear contact, so if he did get something in there, it could get a little deeper than most guys.
1-1, that one hits the outside corner for a strike. Now 1-2, Scouts down to the last strike of the inning. Miles Wright at the dish. Cale Giddings on first, Gilcrease on second, and Wyatt Hogan on first. Scouts have put 6 across in this inning. We'll love to add a few more. Here comes the 1-2. That one misses well outside. Holloway did a good job sliding on his knees to his right to grab that one. It's going to even up at 2-2. I don't know if they'll sell Cale home on a wild pitch with a short backstop, though.
They'd have to get pretty far out of that backstop to send Cale. You'd also have to have a nice jump.
Here comes the 2-2 right. Swung on chop. A slow roller towards Jernigan at short. He's going to throw to first. And it misses. It's going to be another error. That's going to send home Gilcrease after Giddings already scored. And they're going to rule an error on Andre Jernigan. The second error we've seen this inning. And 2 more have come across. 8-run inning for the Scouts here at the top of the 5th.
Shortstop number 3, Lee Sullivan.
I give him a hit in an error. So the second RBI single of the inning for Miles Wright.
So one of those runs will count as an RBI. The other one came across as a part of the error. So that'll extend Wright's RBI total to 12 on the season.
That's going to bring up Lee Solomon at the plate. Runners on second and third. He shows bunt. Fouls backwards. Still 2 outs here. Miles Wright on second. Advance to second on the error from Jernigan. Second error we've seen this inning. Now Lance wrapped all of the scoring that's going on this inning. And everything stat-wise after the break, because I need some help as well. Next pitch to Solomon is fouled backwards, so quickly 0-2 to Lee. Lee Solomon with 0-2 count, 2 outs. 9-6 Scouts lead. Here comes the pitch. Swan, that one's going to be hit towards Rozier at first, and that's going to do it for the inning, but not before 8 runs crumb across the plate for the Xenia Scouts, and they retake this lead 9-6, an offensive explosion. And now lead by 3. And that's the best we've seen the Scouts hitting-wise this year, Lance.
That is absolutely right, Terry. There's no other way really to quantify this. I'll start with where the inning started, and I'll do my best from there as Tony Campbell will be out for the Scouts once again here in now the 5th inning. Inning was led off by Levi Gilcrease. He got himself on with a base hit. Then Wyatt Hogan got on with a walk. And then Miles Wright came up to the plate. He had himself an RBI hit. So actually he has 13 RBIs as he had one in each of his at-bats that inning. So we had an RBI hit after Wyatt and Levi advanced on a passed ball to second and to third. Then Lee Solomon came up. He was walked. And then that loaded up the bases for Austin Orr. He had himself a 2 RBI base hit. So that left just 1 on base when Christian Binger came up to the plate, and he had himself a sac fly. Austin, two guys were on base because Kyle Carnahan had a 2 RBI home run. So he had 2 earned home run then. And then there was the walk from Kale. He got on with a walk, and he eventually came around to score. And then Lincoln came up, and he flew out to deep center field. And then Levi came up for the second time and got himself on with a walk. He came around to score. And then Wyatt Hogan came up, and he eventually scored as well. As that's the first pitch there for a ball. And then Miles Wright came up with a hit, and then there was an error that scored a run, and then Solomon flew out to first base to end that top of the 5th. I think I did the best I could.
So 1-0 now to Mitchell Lendensky. Shows bunt now, misses low from Tony Campbell, who came in to finish the 4th inning, pitched the 3rd of an inning. You got Rozier out. Now 2-0 to Lendensky. That one's going to be hit towards K.O. Giddings. Picked up at first, thrown to Tony Campbell. He's going to race to the bag and beat out Lendensky. So 1 up, 1 down. Here in the bottom of the 5th inning, Scouts still up 9-6 with 1 out for the Steam. And here goes Austin Holloway, still looking for his first hit of the season. Now over 5 on the year. Struck out to Q McGrath last time. And here comes the first pitch. In there for a strike. Austin Holloway, so let's figure this all out. Nick Beer went 4 innings, has 6 hits, gave up 6 earned runs, had 4 walks and 2 strikeouts. Second pitch is going to be fouled out of play. Nick Cecil then came in relief, pitched 2/3, gave up 1 hit, 3 runs, 2 of those earned. He had a couple of walks. And then Ken Ruberger's on a 1/3 of an inning so far. And he's given up 2 hits, no earned runs. And he'll be back out to start the top of the 6th for the Steam.
Does have a run against him, but is unearned because of the error.
Here comes the next throw from Campbell. Inside corner for a strike.
That
and he gets Holloway looking.
Dirty curveball there from Tony Campbell. And after the inning the Steam just had, it was a very long inning. A lot of those guys in the field for a very long time. And Holloway just wasn't able to catch up to that because, of course, he was behind the plate for all of that action that last inning.
That's going to be Austin Riemann. Flew to short last time. First throw from Campbell. Outside corner for a strike to the righty. Tony Campbell, like I mentioned earlier, not going to blow by you with speed. Probably tops out around 85, but has so many different arm angles. Second pitch curves in there for a strike and a plethora of pitches. His arsenal is second to none. And now up 0-2 against Austin Riemann. Here's that 0-2 pitch, and that was low in the dirt. Try to get him swinging. Try to golf out of the sand trap. He'll hold up. It'll be 1-2 now to the 3rd baseman. Scouts up 9-6. After 8 runs passed here in the top of this 5th inning. We're here in the bottom of the 5th as Riemann fouls that one out of play. Q McGrath gave up 6 runs after giving up 6 runs on the season coming into today's contest and looked Like the Scouts are going to drop their second straight game, but an 8-run explosion has them up by 3, and that one curves, and that one's hit high in the air. McLeary gets under it and puts it away, and that will do the 5th inning into the books. And after the Scouts put 8 runs across the board, the Steam go 1, 2, 3. And we're going to the 6th inning. Scouts still up 9-6.
So Ruber's going to be back out there once again for this team. He came in back in after 2 outs were recorded in the last inning. So we'll see how much longer he goes. And if the Scouts can keep hitting the way they did in that 5th inning, this could get out of control very quickly.
So 9 runs for the Scout, 8 of them earned, 6 to Nick Beer, 2 to Nick Cecil, and 1 run to Ken Ruberg that is unearned because of an error. We've seen 2 errors back in that 5th inning, 1 on Nick Beer, then 1 on Andre Jernigan.
All right, sounds good.
And after the Scouts
presents will be going on over at the concession stand.
at 13, had to add it up, 13 at-bats back in the top of this inning. Who's coming up on the side here in the top of the 6th?
The last inning was ended by Lee Salmon in this flyout, so that would bring up Austin Orr to the plate. He had himself a 2 RBI single the last inning. That'll be Christian Binger, who had a sac fly RBI. So those two both getting involved in the action. Then, of course, Kyle Carnahan, he just hit himself a 2-run home run for his 5th home run on the season. So even after that last inning, it started at the bottom, and I actually made the comment, not the part of the lineup you want coming up, but they did the job and got it done despite what I can say.
Yeah, so much for that, Lance. I think it was the exact part they wanted. There wasn't a wrong part of that lineup.
That's what we call the reverse jinx. You say something that isn't going to happen, and then it happens. Funny how that works.
In those first 9 batters for the Scouts last inning, only 1 was recorded with an official out. Unbelievable. As Ruberg, side arm pitcher, back on the mound. First pitch to Austin Orr. He shows another bunt, lays it down here. He had one earlier today. It's going to be picked up by Ruberg. Getting plenty of time as Austin Orr, it bounces off the glove. Austin probably could have got to second. I don't think he realized what was happening. But he'll stay on first. Of his 2nd bunt of the game.
I wonder if he was listening to Coach Cates this morning. I really wonder. I'm not sure.
Austin now 3 for 4 on the afternoon with 2 bunt singles. Christian Binger at the plate. He had a sacrifice fly RBI last time. Well, for 1 today. That one's blooped towards left field, and it'll be put away. No, it will not be put away. It's going to go off the glove of Lendensky. Austin Orr going to 3rd, and Christian Binger will be at 2nd.
I'm not even sure if he got his glove on that. I think that might have just fell down.
I'm not sure. We'll have to wait for the ruling if it's an error or a double for Binger. Regardless, he's on 2nd with Orr on 3rd. Lendensky made a long run on the blooper from Binger. It looked like he's going to put it away after the sprint. So it will be officially an error on Lendensky. Now 3 errors on the Steam today. Now Kyle Carnahan back at the dish. He homered last time to left field. Not the guy you want to see if you're Ken Ruberg right now. Or any pitcher.
Yeah, I don't think there's anyone you want to especially face right now for the Scouts.
Binger on 2nd. Austin Orr on 1st after the bunt single. 1-0 pitch, and that one's outside as well. Good stop by Holloway. As Orr is itching to come home to give the Scouts their 10th run of the ballgame. Already up 9-6. No outs here in the top of the 6th inning. Runners on 2nd and 3rd. And you have to wonder what's going on in the mound of head coach Pat Hyde of the Cincinnati Steam. And here comes the 2-0. That one hits the outside corner for Ruberg. Again, a strike. Let's let the Steam have this one well in hand, up 6-1. Going to the top of the 5th, the Scouts weren't doing much of anything. Only a leadoff home run from Lee Solomon. And then all of a sudden, boom, 8 runs Across the plate. Here comes the next pitch to Carnahan. That misses outside as well. 3-1 now to the Boulder. Carnahan now with 5 home runs on the year. He's been killing it recently. Now one behind David Gaunt is Washburn and Xenia Scout teammate for tie for second in the league. That one gets the outside corner as Carnahan looks like he's about ready to throw his bat away. She thought it missed outside, but it'll be a full count now to Carnahan from Ruberg. Binger on second, Orr on third. No outs, 9-6 score. Ruberg looks at Orr on third. Now he delivers. That one well inside, and the bases will be loaded after the walk to Carnahan.
Kyle's done a great job today. He's 2 for 3 and then drew that walk. That'll be his 10th walk on the season. And a nice little fun fact, has just one more walk than the number of times he's been hit by a pitch, which was also 9 before that walk.
So now 7 walks on the day for the Steam pitchers as Cale Giddings comes to the plate. First pitch to him outside for a ball. Giddings back in that 5th inning. That wild 5th inning was walked. Actually came home to score. 1-0 to him now. Bases loaded. No outs here for Ruberg. Here comes the next throw. That one's lined to left field, and that's going to score 1. As Austin Orr comes home, and that's going to be it. But an RBI single for Cale Giddings. And the Scouts continue to rip it. Now with a 10-6 score here on the top of the 6th. Bases loaded. No outs for Lincoln Reed.
And that'll be just the second RBI of the season for Cale. His first was last night against the Southern Ohio Copperheads. He drove in Christian Binger for his first RBI of the season. That run will actually, no, that one will be earned, but the unearned run will be if Christian comes around to score.
Whole lot going on.
A lot going on.
Stats-wise in this game due to errors and pitching changes as we're going to see another one. Ruberg taken out of the game. We're going to see the 4th pitcher of the game. It's going to be Ted Andrews, the lanky pitcher, the 6'6", 225-pound righty from Furman University. Went to Cincinnati Hills Christian Academy, so a local product. And we did see Andrews back in the first times these two teams played. Was the tallest pitcher Scouts have seen this year until the Joes threw out their pitching stats, which had a number of 6'6" pitchers of 167. Of course, Ted Andrews, a dominating presence on the mound. He towers over. The righty stands in the middle of the rubber.
So for Ruberg, he goes just a third of an inning as he couldn't get anyone out here in the top half of the 6th. Has given him 2 runs so far, 2 walks, but he is responsible for all of the runners on the base pass for the Scouts.
Well, Christian Binger wouldn't be, wouldn't he? Because Christian Binger is advanced in the air.
Right. So that would be unearned, but if the other 2 guys come around, then they'd be earned to it. Yes.
Cale Giddings sitting on first base right now. Kyle Carnahan on second. Christian Binger on third. No outs here in the top of the 6th inning. Scouts.
So they're going to change the one from Christian to a double. The one that I thought might have not hit out the glove, they eventually changed their mind. So that just changes a little bit. This means it won't be an error, and those runs will be earned.
And improves the stats for Christian Binger, so he's going to be thankful about that.
Yeah, because he had himself a nice game up to that point, had gotten on with a walk, grounded into the double play in the 3rd, and then had the sac fly, which doesn't count as an at-bat, but so for another error to happen wouldn't have exactly helped his batting average. So I think we'll take that double.
Yeah, I don't think he'll have any complaints. So Lincoln Reed, the switch hitter, is going to be batting the lefty against the righty Ted Andrews. At the plate, he flew out to center field, deep center field last time. Again, no outs here in the top of the 6th inning. Scouts up 10-6 on the Cincinnati Steam. First pitch from Andrews. That one's we chop backwards off of a pole behind the netting and ricochets towards the Steam dugout. 0-1 now to Lincoln. Andrews threw 1 2/3 back here at McLeary Field last time these two teams played. That one chopped off of the plate behind us. Now 0-2 now to Lincoln. And
if you had told me that the Scouts would have their already highest scoring outburst in 10, still have a chance to add on more without David Gaunt in the lineup, I would have called you a madman.
I think I'd agree. David Gaunt leads the team heftily in RBIs. Did lead in home runs. Kyle Carter still does, not by much now. If that one misses well outside, now 1-2 to Lincoln. Kyle Carnahan now 1 home run away. As if we go back to his 2 home run game at Lima on July 4th, now today, July 11th, 4 home runs in that week time span. That one's going to be chopped right back toward Andrews. He's going to throw home, and just in time, as that was a high throw. Good job by Holloway getting under that one. And it's going to force out Binger at the dish. So 1 out now as Reed is on with a fielder's choice. Heads up play
and it was
by Andrews.
And it was almost a miss there by Andrews. As Holloway had to make an extra effort just to make sure he got his foot on the plate for the force out. Otherwise, he might have had to try and tag out Christian Binger. So Lincoln gets on with the fielder's choice. That'll be the first out of the inning, but the bases remain loaded for Levi Gilcrease.
Carnahan on third, Giddings on second, and Reed on first for Levi Gilcrease. He singled and walked last inning. First pitch to him in there for a strike from Andrews.
Gilcrease started off that crazy 5th inning. He had a hit in his first at-bat, came around to score, and then had a walk. Also came around to score. Scored twice in 1 inning.
Not a bad day at the ballpark. 0-1 to Gilcrease. Now here comes the throw. That one misses outside. Good job by Holloway grabbing that one. As much as the outburst has been for the Scouts, I think it might have been even worse if Holloway would have let a few of these balls that have been well outside get past him. He's done a good job behind the plate. 1-1 count, 1 out, 10-6 Scouts lead. That pitch to Gilcrease is foul back right in front of us. Now 1-2 to the center fielder. After Nick Cecil and Ken Ruberg were ineffective for the Steam, Ted Andrews seems to have come into this game calm, cool, and collective. Here comes the 1-2, and that one's going to be chopped backwards. Got him handcuffed there as that one was well inside. Gilcrease swung at it, just got off the inside part of his bat. Stay alive at 1-2. Do it again here. Bases loaded, 1 out for the Scouts. 10-6 they lead. I put 1 across here in the top of the 6th inning. I put 9 between the 5th and the 6th so far. Levi Gilcrease could extend this 4-run lead. Inning-ending double play ball still in effect. Andrews on the mound. He throws, and that one bounces off Holloway, but we will not see Carnahan try to come home, and I guess that's that short backstop coming into play.
And not even that, just the fact that they now already have a 4-run cushion. Why risk it with only 1 down trying to add on another run when you can just see what Levi can do at the plate?
Took a violent bounce off the right shoulder of Austin Holloway. Bounced off the backstop pretty close to the plate, so Carnahan would have been out by a mile. Cale Giddings halfway to third had to go back to second, so good decision by Coach Case to hold up Kyle. We'll do again at 2-2 here to Levi. 1 out. Bases loaded. 10-6 score. Here comes the pitch. That one's going to be chopped backwards. Levi with a great at-bat here, staying alive.
And that's something that Levi's gotten better at recently. He has had his struggles this season with striking out, but has done a better job of just staying in there and managing to foul off a couple pitches. And he doesn't always get on with a base hit or with a walk, but he does get better at just having a much better plate approach.
Bases loaded. We'll do it again at 2-2. Ted Andrews, he throws that one right down the middle. Second time today, Levi Gilcrease has gone down looking, and now it will be 2 down with bases loaded here in the top of the 6th inning. And White Hogan, who's been dynamite today, a single and 2 walks, steps up to the plate.
Makes him 1 for 1. Pretty good day for him.
And 3 for 3 on base percentage. Carnahan on third, getting second Lincoln Reed on first. Here comes the throw from Ted Andrews. That one swung on a miss. Big hack from Wyatt Hogan. Aggressive on the first pitch. Andrews has come into this game and has gotten 2 consecutive outs. One on a fielder's choice that put Lincoln Reed at first when he threw home to force out Christian Binger at the plate, then striking out Levi Gilcrease. Next throw to Hogan. He gets him swinging at that one that was inside and away. So 0-2 now to Hogan. Andrews would love to leave the bases stranded here for the Scouts here in the top of the 6th inning. That strikeout we just saw was only the 3rd of the day for this team. And here comes the 0-2 from Andrews. That one is going to be hit off the hands of Wyatt Hogan. He was able to foul that one backwards. Miles Wright on deck. He had 2 RBI singles last inning. As 13 batters came across the plate in the top of the 5th. Here in the top of the 6th, Scouts still up 10-6. Bases loaded, 0-2 count to Wyatt Hogan at the dish. Here it comes. That one curves, but not nearly far enough. 1-2 now to White. Hogan was stranded at 3rd last time. Here comes a 1-2 pitch. That one well outside as well. Good job from Hogan staying patient. He got walks number 10 and 11 on the season this evening against the Steam. Now has a even count after going down quickly 0-2. Base is still loaded for the Scouts, up 10-6. 2-2 with 2 outs. Here comes the pitch, and that one's going to be blooped over. And Richard Rodriguez makes the running grab. I thought that one might bounce in there, but good play by the second baseman. The Scouts do strand the bases loaded. They do have one come across the dish, and now lead 10-6, a 4-run cushion. As you have to imagine, Tony Campbell's going to come back out to the rubber.
And you can't say enough about what the Scouts have done these last couple innings. You have an 8-run 5th inning, and then they still come out guns a-blazing to start off the 6th inning. And yes, Tony Campbell will be back out on the hill for the Scouts. Austin Orr comes out, gets himself on with another bunt hit single. Christian Banger comes up, has what was originally ruled as an error that turns into a double after a change in the stats. Kyle Carnahan gets on with a walk for his 10th walk of the season. Cale Giddings comes up to the plate. He gets himself on with a base hit RBI single. And then Lincoln came up, hit into a fielder's choice, and Gilcrease had a nice at-bat, but the second time today, not the second straight time, came up and just watched one go right down the middle for strike 3, and then Wyatt Hogan hit the ball nicely towards Rodriguez at second, but he was able to range over to it and get under it for the 3rd out of the inning. So the Scouts leave the bases loaded, did have 3 hits that inning to go with a run scored.
So Tony Campbell about to come out again in the bottom of the 6th inning. He's already pitched 1 1/3. He's done a great job. He's gotten 4 straight outs. Does have a strikeout to his name. He's got Austin Holloway looking back in the bottom of the 5th. Scouts lead 10-6. As we're going to the bottom of the 6th inning. 9 runs have come across in these last 2 innings, 8 of which came in the top of the 5th for the Scouts.
Richard Rodriguez will lead it off for the Steam. That'll be Brad Burkhart and Treg Habercorn.
Back to the top of the Steam lineup as Rodriguez is swinging and missing at that one. On the off-speed throwing Tony Campbell. Here comes the 0-1. That one again curves and has Rodriguez looking silly. He thought the ball was right in the middle and it drops all the way down to around his ankles. Tony Campbell shakes off a couple pitches, gets the one he likes. Here comes the 0-2 delivery. That one well outside. 1-2 now to the second baseman Rodriguez, who was 1 for 3 today for an RBI, and was also scored back in that 3rd inning. That one just misses as Rodriguez holds up. We're going to appeal to first. Ryan Gunning says he did not go. 2-2 evened up to the second baseman. Here's that 2-2 pitch. That one curves, and he gets him swinging. Drops it off the table, and 2 strikeouts on the day for Tony Campbell, who has looked absolutely phenomenal in his relief effort.
And that was just a fantastic break ball. That one dropped right off the table. Wes Rodriguez was up there. Looked a little silly striking out for the second time today.
That's going to bring it Brad Burkhardt, the right fielder. That one's going to be lined off the ground towards Lee Solomon. Throws to first in time. There's a hard hit ball towards short. Bounce on the one hop to Lee Solomon. He picked it up and delivered to his friend from Columbus, Cale Giddings. The reason why Cale is here with the Scouts, Lee Solomon.
Yeah, and a fun fact about that, Lee Solomon and Cale have known each other for a very long time, but Cale's a couple years older than Lee, so going and playing for the Scouts, first time these two have actually played together.
That first pitch in there from a strike from Campbell to Treg Habercorn. Treg has been on all 3 times, but has no official at-bats. He's been hit and swings and misses out of that one. He was hit in the first inning, walked in the second, and walked in the fourth. Quickly 0-2 from Campbell, whose movement is untouchable right now. He winds and delivers. That one is singled into right field. So just as I say he's untouchable, is a nice throw by Miles Wright to keep Habercorn honest over there.
And that's something Miles learned from Levi. Levi loves to do that in center field. He doesn't always throw it over to first like that, but he has tried it out a couple times. It was a nice run from Miles and kept Habercorn honest after that base hit single.
So first hit of the day given up by Tony Campbell as Trey Gans comes to the plate. First pitch to him. Outside corner for a strike. Gans 2 for 3 today with 2 RBIs. Both those came back in the second inning. That one's low. Good stop by Lincoln Reed. 1-1 count. Habercorn did steal last time he was on. Sitting on first base right now. One throw, and that one's going to be chopped towards Cale Giddings. He picks it up. He's going to take it himself, and he's going to retire the inning. And good job again by Tony Campbell. He does give up 1 hit, his first of the contest, but gets another strikeout. He'll have 2 to his name. Going to the top of the 7th, the Scouts still lead 10-6 in this high-scoring affair at McLeary Field on Western Hills campus in Cincinnati, Ohio.
To kind of put this in perspective, it's 10-6 in favor of the Scouts after 6 total innings. We're just a little over 2 hours and 10 minutes or so into this contest. We've had some games finished in this amount of time, so that goes to show you just how dynamic both of these offenses have been. Cincinnati had themselves a nice second inning. They played at 5, but it was no match for the Scouts, and they played it at 8 back in inning number 5.
And no one would have thought that until that 5th inning, as the Scouts put 3 goose eggs on the board from the 2nd through 4th innings. Steam with a 6-1 lead after they put another one on in the 4th. And going to the 5th, you have to think, Scouts down 6-1. They don't have much of a shot at this one. They've been struggling. Yesterday, they only had 2 runs through 10 innings in extras against the Southern Ohio Copperheads. This morning, Coach Bubba Cates talked a little about that, how to improve their hitting, talked a lot about bunting. Austin Orr definitely got the message. He's laid 2 bunt singles down today. Also had a 2 RBI double. He's 3 for 4. And just the whole team, it was just a domino effect of goodness as the bats have really fired up here in Cincinnati. Scouts up 10-6 as we head to inning number 7. And Lance, who's coming up for the Scouts?
It'll go 9-1-2 to be led off by Miles Wright. He had himself 2 singles to go 2 RBIs in just that 5th inning alone. And then it'll be Lee Solomon. He got on with a walk and came around to score and then flew out back in that 5th inning. And Austin Orr, who's had himself a great day, 3 for 4 with a couple RBIs, will hit 3rd this inning.
Miles Wright at the dish, 2 for 3, 2 RBIs. First pitch in there for a strike, so Miles good fortune here at McLeary Field is going to continue. He's had a solid 2015 summer season down in Cincy. 0-1 count from Andrews. He's caught looking at that first one. Here comes the second pitch. That one inside. Good check from the right fielder.
And I know this isn't a thing yet, but Austin is going to be coming up with this thing. I just can't wait to see how close Reedman's going to play at third after 2 bunt singles have gone in front of him.
1-1 count now. 2 miles right. Here comes the pitch, and that one outside barely. 2-1 count now to one of multiple Texas natives on this ball club. Scouts up 10-6 here in the top of the 7th inning. 2-1 pitch from Ted Andrews. That one's low in the dirt. 3-1 now. There have been 7 total walks in this game from Steam pitchers. Ted Andrews is the lone Steam member to not throw one of them. He's given up. He's had 1 strikeout, but not given up any hits or walks. 3-1 is going to be hit towards third base. Reedman picks it up, turns around, throws to first. Not in time. Miles Wright beats it out. And another single for Miles Wright. That'll be his 3rd straight. He's 3 for 4 today. He is one of 2 scouts that are 3 for 4 on the contest.
Yeah, him and Austin each have 3 hits, and so that makes 2 straight times Miles playing in Cincinnati. 2 times he's gone 3 for 4 at least.
And that's the first hit given up by Ted Andrews. No outs here in the top of the 7th inning. Scouts up 10-6. Lee Solomon coming to the dish. Miles Wright on first. Again, Miles of 7 steals on the year. 2nd on the team to Lee Solomon. See if he tries to steal here. Coach Pat Hyde of the Cincinnati team must have not liked that call.
It was a close play, but I do think Miles was in there.
I think so too. And the last time it was a close play at first. On a throw to Lee Solomon, they gave it to the Steam. So this time the scouts were due. Miles right on first. Lee Solomon at the dish. He throws down a bunt, and it's going to bounce off himself, and he's out. And Miles Wright have to go first on the dead ball, so it bounced in the field of play. Came back and hit him.
Was he in the batter's box?
I think that's what Lee Solomon's trying to contest. I think it should have been a foul ball.
Box. He was definitely in the batter's box now that I think about it.
Coach Bubba Cates very upset about that call. If a base runner is on the base pass and he gets hit by a ball, he's out. But if he's at the plate, still in the batter's box on a foul bunt attempt and it hits it, it's just a foul ball. But he must have said it went into the field of play. Solomon was running when it hit him, and that's why he's out. Coach Cates is pleading his case.
I could be wrong, but I feel like Lee was about to start running, and he was still in the box when it hit him. So, I mean, he's going to be out anyway, but definitely another questionable play. I'm not going to say the ump was wrong because I'm not entirely sure, but definitely a close play.
How do we score that one?
A bunt force out, I guess.
A bunt force out. Excellent. Austin Orr back up to the plate. That one's well outside of Austin. 1-0.
Scoring that is not my job. So I'm just going to delineate that to the people that it is their job.
And we'll wait. As Point Streak updates, you can follow every Scouts game online on Point Streak. Miles right on first base. Here's the throw. Miles on the move. That one's outside. He's trying to steal, and he's in there in time. That's his 8th stolen bag of the season. The thievery is strong, and Miles Wright with Austin Orr at the plate with our runner in scoring position now. 1 out.
And it's just rule that Lee Solomon put out for out number 2. So it isn't attributed to anyone. It's just rule to put out.
So put out to Lee Solomon after he was hit by his own hit ball on a bunt. So Miles right on second base. Austin Orr at the dish. 2-0 count to Austin. He throws down another bunt. Now it's going to roll foul, and I think he would have got there safely again. It would have been close for sure if it could have stayed fair. Oh, my. Austin Orr with already 2 bunt singles on the day. Not afraid to throw out a third. 2-1 now to Austin.
And why don't you? If Freeman's not playing all that far in. He's a little bit behind the grass out there in the infield, so still plenty of distance the way Austin Orr has been bunting and running today. Why not throw her down and try and make it another bunt hit single?
And now we see Reeman in the grass, 2-1. Swung on and missed from Orr, who's 2-2. Austin, the DH role, was the team starting shortstop to start the year. Shoulder injury has sidelined him from the field ever since the first time the team played Licking County. So it's been about a month now for Austin Orr. Can have light throwing, but can't be put in the field yet. Here's the 2-2 pitch, and that one just misses inside. Full count now to the Union Bulldog, Austin Orr. Miles Wright sitting on second base right now in scoring position. 1 out, 10-6 scouts. Here's the payoff pitch, and that one's going to be fouled out of play. So we'll do payoff pitch 2.0 to Austin Orr. Scouts up by 4 runs. Miles Wright could be that 5th. He's standing on second. Austin Orr at the plate. Ted Andrews on the mound. Here comes the 3-2. Swung and missed. Austin Orr goes down swinging for the second time today.
So Austin might have struck out for the second time, but still has 3 hits, 2 of them courtesy of bunts. So there's definitely a lot of players up there for potential player of the game for your scouts.
Now Christian Binger at the plate. He doubled last time. First pitch to him is a bit high. 1-0 to Binger, who already walked today for the 23rd time this year. He has a sacrifice fly RBI back in that big 5th inning. Next pitch to him is checked on, but it doesn't matter as it hit the outside corner. 1-1 now to Bing. Binger from Southwest Baptist University in Missouri. Had over 370 this year. Also led his team in walks, unsurprisingly. Andrews looks at Miles right at second. Now he delivers home. That one curves and just misses. Now 2-1 to Binger.
That was definitely a very close pitch to take, but of course, Christian, like we've said, with a litany of walks this season, 23, definitely knows when it's a ball or a strike.
Litany is a very good word. 2-1 as Andrews steps off the rubber, and Miles Wright will scamper back to the second base bag. 10-6, your Scouts lead here in the top of the 7th. Scouts are trailing 6-1 going to the top of the 5th inning when they put 8 across the board, added another in the top of the 6th to get them to their 10-6 score. In the second, the team put 5 across. Here comes the pitch to Binger. That one misses a bit high. Now 3-1 to Christian, trying to draw his second walk of the day. Christian just 1 for 2 in his 4 plate appearances. Also had that sac fly and a walk. Did hit into a 5-4-3 double play to end the 3rd inning. 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. 3-1 count, and Andrews will step off the rubber again. Still worried about Miles Wright, who just stole his 8th base of the season. Austin playing way off at 3rd. Here comes the 3-1 to Binger. That one's going to be lined towards left field, and Lendensky, he's going to put it away. And that's going to end the top of the 7th inning. So Miles Wright gets on with a single, steals, but then is left stranded. And we're going to the bottom of the 7th inning. The Scouts still lead by a score of 10-6 as Tony Campbell is coming out again.
So we'll see Tony Campbell out there once again for the Scouts. But that last inning, definitely a strange one. Miles Wright got on with an infield hit. He just beat it out over at first. He then stole second, but Lee Solomon bunted, and as he bunted, he ran into the field of play, and it was ruled that it hit him in the field of play. And, of course, if the ball hits you in the field of play, you are out. So that is ruled as just a normal old put-out for out number 1, and Austin Orr worked it to a full count before he struck out for his second time today. It does have 3 hits, so he's 3 for 5 on the day. And then Christian Mayer came up and he flew out to left field, but did work it to a 3-1 count. So made the most of his at-bat before eventually flying out to end that top of the 7th inning.
This has already been the longest appearance of the season for Tony Campbell. He pitched 2 innings back in his first start as a scout back on June 19th at home in a 3-5 loss to the Grand Lake Mariners in that doubleheader. Usually there was about an inning, but is now going out with 2 1/3 already under his belt. Trying to go for 3 1/3 and get through the bottom of the 7th here. Ducey. No, we don't see any action on the Scouts bullpen. I saw a ball fly out there. Turns out it was Jackson Shepard, Coach Scott Shepard's son, throwing out there. And here comes Andre Jernigan. Lance, who else is going to the side for the Steam?
So, of course, Andre Jernigan up to the plate right now. It'll be Andy Rozier and Mitchell Lindensky.
And that one for Jernigan is fouled backwards. 0-1 now to the shortstop. Jernigan today is 1 for 2. Here comes the 0-1 pitch, and that one's going to be single to right field. The second single right field we've seen off of Tony Campbell. Only 2 hits he's allowed.
So that'll be Jernigan's second hit on the day. Had an RBI double back in the 4th. He walked in the 2nd, and then in the second at-bat that inning, he flew out to Levi Gilcrease.
That's going to bring Andy Rozier. He's 2 for 3 today. Got a couple of singles. Steam trying to come back in this one, down 10-6. Rozier takes a lot of time at the plate. Always stares very intently at his bat before he gets into his stance. I don't know why. Jernigan on first. That one's going to be swinging. Hit towards Lee Solomon, who misplays it. And it's going to be a single. Lee Solomon was moving to his left. Misplayed a little bit as it curved back towards his right. He was already in great position. Just misplayed it a little bit. So Rozier's going to be 3 for 4 on the day.
And that was just unfortunate there for Lee Solomon. He ranged over to his left, and then it turned back towards his right, and that'll put 2 guys on. And I think we're actually going to have a pinch hitter. Adrian Marquez.
And we're going to see Adrian Marquez puts a smile across Lance and I's face. That's the first strike we've seen. Last time we saw Adrian Marquez, he had a 17-pitch at bat. Well, not the last time we saw him, but one time we saw him. He had a 17-pitch at bat, which was the longest Lance and I have seen in our entire lives. Coach Case said the same thing. He's been around baseball a lot longer than we have. That one is hit towards center field and is going to draw it. Levi Gilcrease picks it up, and Jernigan is going to stop at third wisely.
Levi should have just thrown home just to warn him. He should have. Why not?
So 3 straight singles to start this inning after Marquez comes in and gets a single on his pinch hit roll.
So Coach Kate's going to go out to talk to Tony Campbell, and seeing as you said that no one's coming out and going out to the bullpen, you got to think that they're going to stick with Campbell at least for now, but the potential tying run is up to the plate in Austin Holloway, who is 0 for 3 today. He had just 3 at-bats coming into the day, so still doesn't have a hit on the board. But it would be a pretty good time for him to start.
Yes, it would. Adrian Marquez on first right now. Andy Rozier on second. Andre Jernigan on third. Tony Campbell, we were singing his praises going here to the bottom of the 7th inning, has struggled a little bit, giving up 3 straight singles.
And he can turn around his fortunes very quickly if he finds a good way to set down Austin Holloway.
Oh, here comes Holloway, still looking for his first hit of the year. First pitch to him. In there for a strike. Last time Campbell faced Holloway, got him strikeout looking. Bases loaded, no outs. Scouts up 10-6. Here comes a nice pitch. That one from the sidearm. Miles right. Will catch it in deep right field, but he's going to be throwing home. They're going to send him. And it's off the glove of Lincoln Reed. And it's going to be sac fly RBI as a sore subject for the Scouts, who lost last night's contest after a play at the plate fell off of the glove of Zach Wiley on the applied tag on a throw from Miles Wright. So we've seen it twice now. Looks like McLeary was trying to apply the tag before he had the ball secured.
And that was very reminiscent, definitely a deja vu from last night because it was just about the same part of the park towards Miles Wright, and a nice throw, just wasn't able to get that out at the plate.
First pitch to Austin Riemann is at the plate now. He's 0 for 2 today with a walk, goes for a strike. 0-1 now. Inning-ending double play ball now set up. Runners on first and second. Misses a bit high now. 1-1. The sac fly did not advance either Roger or Marquez. We hear some police sirens in the background. Here comes the 1-1. That one's head to deep left field. Will it stay fair? It will not. It will go foul. That was the game-tying 3-run shot off the bat of Austin Riemann that just went foul.
And that is very fortunate for the Scouts, to say the least.
Austin Riemann has not homered yet this year, just about got his first. Here comes the 1-2 now, and that one's going to be fouled right by Richard Rodriguez. Dome. Lucky break for him over there on the on-deck circle. Very dangerous ball as it went towards the steam dugout. Runners on first and second. Tony Campbell still on the rubber for the Scouts. Has already given up 1 run this inning. As we actually see the cop car in left center field chasing somebody down. Let's see. Maybe you can see him on our webcam. 10-7 baseball and police chases. We have it all here on Xenia Scouts for our baseball coverage in game number 30 of the year. And I think Lance and I have seen everything at this point.
I don't know if we've seen everything, but we've seen a good amount of things this summer.
We have, and we can add police chase to that list.
I know I will.
Now, Marquez on first. Rozier still on second. Both singled with Riemann at the dish. Here comes the sidearm approach, and that one misses well outside. 2-2 now. Evened up to the third baseman, Austin Riemann from Missouri Baptist College. And it looks like there's a ball that came into play. As Scouts are warming up someone in their bullpen. Our view is obstructed. Try to bend all the way down, but doesn't really help.
Well, we can look at our roster, and the only other pitchers written down under pitching were Chase and Street.
And that 2-2 gets through the net. It must be a
little hole up there.
I think I see about a 1-foot hole right by the pole of the net, and the baseball somehow found that spot. We'll do it again at 2-2. Here's the throw from Campbell to Riemann. That one's going to be driven to left field. That one's going to drop, bounces. Rozier's going to score. They're going to send Marquinelli. They're going to hold Marquez up at third. So an RBI double from Austin Riemann. And this game is now a 2-run differential. Scouts leading 10-8 after Tony Campbell is giving up a couple runs here in the bottom of the 7th. And the Steam are coming back.
So now if you're the Scouts, you got to figure out how you're going to get Rodriguez out now for one. And, of course, it's a little more difficult when you don't have the double play ball to potentially fall back on. As now Kate is going to walk to the mound and go to the bullpen. I would think it's Joe Chasen coming into the game, but that's just based on context because don't know that for sure.
Tony Campbell goes 2 2/3 inning. Gives up 2 earned runs, both of them here in the bottom of the 7th as we see a couple of fireworks going off. And it will be Joe Chasen coming into the ball game for the Scouts. Joe Chasen from Hillsdale College. Teammate of starting pitcher Will Cruz, the Chargers of Hillsdale. college in Michigan.
And Chasen has made by far not by far, but clearly the most appearances for the Scouts. This will be his 15th appearance on the season. Has pitched 15 and 1/3 innings, 15 strikeouts, 9 walks, 15 hits. Does have 2 saves on the season. One was back way early in the season against the Settlers on the road, and then in the first game of the doubleheader, an Ohio club, and his last outing was just last night against the Copperheads. He went 1/3 of an inning, just faced one batter, and got him to go down. And then before that, he faced the Settlers, pitched 2, gave up just 1 earned run on 3 hits, had 2 strikeouts. So, like we've said, Joe Chasen can be a very streaky pitcher. It's just a matter of if he has his stuff working or if he doesn't. If he does have it working, he has the potential to strike out the side. If he doesn't, he could be out of this inning without getting an out.
And last time we saw Chasen here at McLeary Field, he got his lone victory of the season. He came in and relieved Dylan Dowling with 3 2/3, and what was his best appearance of the sleeve appearances we here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Now there'll be runners on 2nd and 3rd, and Austin Riemann and Adrian Marquez. And the go-ahead run now at the plate, and Richard Rodriguez for the Steam.
For the Senior Scouts is from Hillsdale College, number 27, Joe Chasen.
Runners at 2nd and 3rd for Richard Rodriguez. So just 1 out, so double play ball probably out of play unless you get some kind of crazy line out. So going to have to find a way to set down Rodriguez to stop the bleeding here.
Rodriguez today, 1 for 4 of an RBI single. Struck out last time to Tony Campbell. And here goes the throw. That one inside. Good job by Lincoln Reed to grab that one before it hit the backstop. Marquez with some speed over there at 3rd base. So be 1-0 now to the left-hander, Richard Rodriguez. Only his 9th game on the year with the team. And here comes the 1-0 pitch, and that one misses outside. Now 2-0 from Chasen.
Chasen not starting off too well against Richard Rodriguez. Doesn't appear to be hitting his spots so far.
Runners on 2nd and 3rd. Here comes the 2-0. That one's going to be lined into to left field. White Hogan picks it up. He's going to throw towards 2nd base. And in plenty of time, he's going to get at Rodriguez, but not before he ties up this ball game, folks. And the RBI single, 2 RBI single, makes it 10 apiece here in the bottom of the 7th inning. 4 runs have come across for the Cincinnati Steam.
This is a crazy game. There's no other way to put it. 10 runs for each side. That's by far the most we've seen in a game with the Scouts in this magnitude. We've seen them be blown out, but not quite like this.
And that one to Brad Burkhardt inside for a ball. 1-0 now to the right fielder, who's hitless today. He's 0 for 3 with a walk that scored a run. And that one's popped up high in the air. Chasen's going to try to get under it. Cale Giddings calls him off, and he drops the ball. It goes off the glove of Cale Giddings and rolls out of play.
So somebody didn't call that correctly. It looked like Joe was going to get under it, and then Cale charged in and must have said, I got it or something, because he appeared to go and get under it. Ball just bounced off his glove in play, so it's a fair ball, and somehow rolled all the way out of play into the Steam dugout.
Joe Chase is going to shake it off, go back to the rubber as Trick Habercorn, who has been on base every single time today, hits that one towards center field. Levi Gilcrease makes the play. Another sliding grab from the center fielder, Levi Gilcrease, shows off his prestige in center field yet again. He has been dynamite all year long in the field, and that might have saved a run. And we're going to the top of the eighth, folks, tied at 10 apiece. 10-10 is your score to the Xenia Scouts, who are usually one of the best pitching teams in the league. You have to argue either the Scouts or the Copperheads with the best pitching staff in the league, leading in all the categories. And today, not so much. The Scouts usually struggle at the dish. Not so much again today, as they've scored 10 runs. And it's just been a weird day. It is a weird day. It's Christmas in July here at McLeary Field. So a whole lot of weirdness going on as we head to the eighth inning. Ted Andrews still on the mound. And we're tied up at 10 apiece, folks.
Yeah, definitely just a whole lot of weirdness for both sides. This game to be as back and forth as it has been, and you wouldn't have expected it. This team had a 5-run second inning. Scouts come back in the fifth, have put up 8 runs, and they have a nice sixth inning, but they only are able to plate 1. And then in the bottom of the seventh, the team go out and put up 4 runs. It's just crazy how back and forth this game has been, and not just like, oh, this team gets 1, next team gets 2, maybe another team gets 1 or 2. This has been back and forth in bunches. Each team is going around in their batting order at least once during an inning, and the team were almost able to go around in the seventh inning. If Gans had been able to come up and get on, that would have brought back up Jernigan, who started off that inning. So it's been craziness here in Cincinnati.
Ted Andrews goes out. He's already pitched 2 innings. He's only given up 1 hit. That was to Miles Wright. And he's been the lone reliever of the 3 we've seen, has looked in control for the Steam. And Lance is coming out to the side for the Scouts.
Coming up for the side for the Scouts, it'll be Kyle Carnahan, Cale Giddings, and Lincoln Reed. Lincoln, the only Scout starter to not get a hit yet.
Here comes the first pitch to Carnahan. He shows bunt. That hit off the hands. That's going to go for a strike. 0-1 now. We've seen a plethora of bunts being laid down in this game. 2 from Austin Orr for singles. 0-1 now to Carnahan. He got his 5th homer of the year earlier today, back in that 5th inning. The 2-run shot. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and that one inside from Andrews. 1-1 now to the third baseman, Kyle Carnahan. We're here in the top of the 8th, folks. It is a 10-10 score. No outs. Bases empty for Kyle Carnahan. That one's lined towards left field, and it's going to drop. Kyle Carnahan on his way to second after rounding first. Will be picked up from Marquez, who replaced Lendensky. And now Kyle Carnahan is on with a leadoff double.
And now with his check swing single, his 2-run home run, and his double, don't know if we'll get another chance for an at-bat, but he's a triple short of the cycle.
And how crazy this game's gone, I would not be surprised to see Kyle Carnahan with another at-bat. But a leadoff double for Kyle Carnahan puts the go-ahead run on second with no outs, and Cale Giddings coming up to the plate. And Cale, last time he was up, had an RBI single. Yeah, 1 for 3 today. Also walked and scored. Here's the first one to Giddings. In there for a strike from Andrews, right down the center at belt buckle level. Kyle Carnahan, have yourself a day. 3 for 4. A 2 RBI homer. Also walked. Been on 4 out of 5 times. Cale Giddings watches that second pitch curve into the zone for a strike. 0-2 now to the big man. That double to Carnahan was only the second hit of the day given up by Ted Andrews. Here comes the 0-2, and that one's a bit high. Good eye for Paul Bunyan.
And a defensive substitution as Marquez came in to replace Lendensky. He will stay in right field, and Burkhart will move over to left field.
All right, so that was actually Burkhart to put that one away earlier, and Marquez in right. And that one's going to be fouled backwards. Kale getting slightly behind it. You can see the frustration at the plate from the first baseman, member of the Storm of Lake Erie College. We're going to do it again at 1-2. Kyle Carnahan sitting off of second base. He looks over at Carnahan, throws back to the dish. That one bounces off, and Kyle Carnahan is going to be advanced to third on the wild pitch from Ted Andrews. Now it's spiked right in front of Holloway, bounced off his shoulder. And now Kyle Carnahan is sitting on third with no outs and a 2-2 count for Giddings.
And so, like we've said, Holloway still has done a very nice job behind the plate. Has let a couple get away from him, but those are few and far between. He's done a very good job defensively behind the plate.
So if no outs here, Kyle Carnahan on third. It'll take a whole lot for the Scouts not to go up 11-10 in this one. Infield plays in. Here's the 2-2. That one's high. Cale Giddings works all the way back to a full count, looking for his second walk of the contest. Last time he walked, it was also a full count. Payoff pitch incoming from the righty. Ted Andrews. Here comes the throw. That one's fouled backwards, and we'll do it again. Second payoff pitch from Andrews coming. Cale Giddings, the biggest member of the Zenith Scouts team. About 6'4", 245. Ted Andrews at 6'6". I have to imagine he's the biggest member of the Steam. Looks, and here comes the 3-2. Swung on and missed. Giddings goes down swinging his first strikeout of the day, as Andrews blew it by him for his third strikeout in his relief effort.
Kale, you can tell, really wanted that one. He was falling over, trying to make sure he just got a piece of that one, but wasn't able to do so. He'll go down and strikes for the first out of the inning.
And here comes the veteran Lincoln Reed, has a chance to give the Scouts the lead. First pitch to Lincoln. That one swung and fouled backwards out of play towards the Scouts' dugout. Now 0-1 to Lincoln. Lincoln 0 for 4 today.
Only guy on the Scouts in the starting lineup that hasn't gotten at least one hit yet.
He did get off the fielder's choice last time. Had a deep fly ball to center field back in the fifth inning. Could use another one here to score Kyle Carnahan. 0-1 against him now. Also ground to short and back to the pitcher's mound. Would like to avoid either of those two outcomes. Swung on and missed. 0-2 now to Lincoln. Would also like to avoid the second consecutive strikeout from Andrews. Levi Gilcrease on deck right now. Carnahan got on with a leadoff double to left field and then was against the third on the wild pitch. Here comes the 0-2 to Lincoln. That one is way outside the zone. Lincoln checks, and that was a 1-2 to the catcher. 10-10 game. One out here in the top of the eighth inning. Offensive fireworks for both of these teams. 1-2 pitch. That one bounces in the dirt. Good job by Holloway. Again, blocking behind the plate.
It could have been just the way I saw that ball come up, but it looked like it almost hit Lincoln. If it did hit him, it must have hit the dirt first to make it dead before it hit him.
It'll be 2-2 now to Lincoln, who's evening it up after going down 0-2 quickly. Ted Andrews still on the mound. He's gone through 2 1/3 innings of work, giving up a couple of hits, one of which to Kyle Carnahan, who's on third base right now. Does have one wild pitch on the game. 2-2 to Lincoln Reed. Here comes the delivery, and that one is just missing. I mean, just missing the zone. A lot of ice in Lincoln Reed's veins as he watches that one go by to make it full.
That's a tough pitch to take on a 2-2 count, I'll tell you what.
Second full count in a row. Here comes the payoff pitch from Andrews. He winds and delivers. Swung on, tip backwards. Just the edge of the barrel of the bat. Reed got on that one. Kyle Carnahan still on third with one out here in the top of the eighth inning. Steam put 4 across in the bottom of the seventh. The Scouts were up 10-6, and it was tied up. Scouts trail this game earlier, 6-1. The scoring has been back and forth, and it has been in large bundles. 3-2 count. It's full to Lincoln Reed. He swings his bat behind his shoulder. Ted Andrews stands on the mound. He throws. Swung, and it's ripped to right field. Lincoln Reed with the RBI single sends home Kyle Carnahan, and a great at bat for the 3-year scout Lincoln Reed. His first hit of the day in a clutch time.
Which means every single player for the scout starting lineup got at least one hit.
That's going to bring up Levi Gilcrease. He's 1 for 3 today. Single, a walk, a couple of strikeouts, and a score twice. They're going to have a meeting with Ted Andrews. Can't tell if there's any activity in the pen or not. I imagine there is. I imagine they're going to keep Andrews in there, though. He's been the most consistent reliever the Steam have thrown out there. Nick Beers started this game for the Steam, and he gave up 6 earned runs. And Nick Cecil came in. He gave up a couple more. Then Ken Rubrick also gave up a couple of runs as well. Ted Andrews just gave up his first of the contest. At the plate, about to take his first pitch with Lincoln Reed on first. First pitch in there for a strike. Gilcrease grabs some dirt to get some more grip on the bat, and we have a score after Lima Locos with the Hamilton Joes tonight. Will take over first place in the Great Lakes League. McLeary Monarchs also beat the Lorain County Ironmen. Next pitch to Levi Gilcrease is hit towards right field. And it'll be Marquez. I thought I might hit off the chain link monster. It was about 300 feet deep. Ario is hit opposite field for Gilcrease, but it will go away at the warning track. That's going to bring up Wyatt Hogan.
Tough break there for Levi. He got a very nice piece of that one. Got just a tad too far under it, and that was able to be put away by Marquez out in that right field. It's a shorter right field, so it wasn't short right field in that sense, but not quite as deep as most right fields in the league, and shorter than every single other right field in the league.
Wyatt Hogan out to play. First pitch he takes is well outside for a ball. Wyatt has walked twice today, singled, and flew out to second the last time he was up. But a good day at the dish. Wyatt Hogan is playing left field today. Can also play first base. Here's the 1-0. That one's well into the dirt. 2-0 from Andrews. Lincoln Reed sitting on first base right now. Scouts up 11-10 here in the top of the 8th inning. After Lincoln Reed had a 1-out RBI single. Here's the 2-0 pitch, and that one in the dirt as well, as we see the chalk burst out of the dirt right in front of us. 3-0 now to Wyatt Hogan, who's probably going to be taking here.
Just maybe with a 3-0 count. Just a chance he takes.
Last time Wyatt walked, he had a 3-0 count. That was back in that huge 5th inning where Scott scored 8 runs to break this one open. Last half inning, this team put 4 across to tie up, and Scouts put 1 across this inning. That one in there for a strike from Andrews. Right down the middle, 3-1 now to Hogan. Scouts up 11-10. 1 on, 2 outs here in the top of the 8th inning. And what has been one of the more wild games of the season for the Navy and Gray Xenia Scouts. Andrews looks, he delivers that one outside corner for a strike. So it'll be a full count to White as Andrews works his way back after going down 3-0. And the first time I walked, it was also a full count. So I've seen a couple of different counts here today. Here comes the 3-2. Lincoln Reed on the move. That one's going to be hit towards right in second. And the slide from Marquez, as he had a sliding tackle on second baseman Richard Rodriguez. But he was still able to make the catch as his cleats looked like it went to the stomach of his teammate. a Cobra Kai-esque leg sweep. But regardless, it's going to retire White Hogan on the collision.
And as good as the Scouts have done today, they played another run that inning to take the 11-10 lead. They do have 8 guys that have been left on base, 3 of them, of course, in that 6th inning where they got a bunch of people on, but were only able to plate 1 run. So we've seen a lot of different things today from the Scouts, and Joe chasing out there, and we've seen Joe pitch extended time before. Usually comes in for 1 inning, maybe 2, but like we said last time here, went 3 2/3, and according to our lineup card, the pitchers available, as I pull it out to show Terry just to make sure he saw this, Campbell, Chase, and Street listed as the available pitchers, and they have Cruz and Ben. I would assume in the case of emergency, Joey listed in the hitter's side. So don't know if that means he can't pitch. I knew he was dealing with a little labrum issue. It wasn't torn or anything, but did have a little tweak there, so they were just going to rest him to make sure he was okay. So I don't know if that means he's just able to run or not, but that's what I'm taking based on what I see in my lineup card from Coach Cates in my hands right in front of me.
Well, I don't see any activity in the Scouts bullpen quite yet, but I do see David gone, and it's going to be Nick Street who's going to the bullpen right now.
And Nick Street, he's been coming back from his own issues with his injuries. And last time out, he looked much better. Looked like he was definitely ready for some action. And he's seen some innings before, but he hasn't seen true game action where it's a close contest.
First pitch from Chasen to Trey Gans. And it's going to get past Joe Chasen. And Christian Banger can't pick it up on the one hop, so the slow roller is going to put Gans on with a single, and he represents the tie run here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Scouts up 11-10.
And that was just a slow roller from off the bat of Gans, and Chasen wasn't able to quite get to it, and Banger wasn't able to charge and get to that one in a timely manner, and then he fumbled with it once he did got it, tried to barehanded to see if he could make something out of nothing, and Gans will be on with the infield single.
Second hit of the day given up by Chasen. That bunt attempt is going to go foul from Jernigan. Jernigan today is 2 for 3. His RBI double last time he was up. He had a single, came around to score. Started off that big 7th inning for the Steam. Next pitch in shows bunt again. That's going to be in the dirt, but good job by Lincoln Reed to block that one. 1-1 evened up now to the shortstop from Xavier, the Musketeer. Yesterday we saw 3 Musketeers in action against the Copperheads, all of them on the mound, including the Scouts' own Thomas Wanning. Next pitch, Jernigan shows bunt again, and it's going to be fouled backwards. So now 1-2 to the shortstop, and we probably won't be seeing him bunting now.
Or will we?
We don't know. Coach Case actually today talked about Rod Carew, who one year got 8 2-strike bunt singles on the season. Gans on first. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and that one's low. Good check by Jernigan. Evens up at 2-2. Scouts haven't had a strikeout since back in the 6th inning to start it off. Jason, here comes the 2-2, and that's going to hit him. It's going to hit between the 3 and the 0 of Jernigan's jersey, and he represents the go-ahead run. Runners on second and first with no outs. And the dangerous Andy Rozier at the plate, who is 3 for 4 today with 3 singles.
Coach Cates is now going to go out and join the meeting between Lincoln and Joe. We'll see if the infield comes in to join them, but I would think that they're going to stick with Joe for now, and if anything else happens, they may make a move to Nick Street. And like I said earlier, he's been coming back from his own labrum issues, so anytime he's been in the game, it's been the Scouts just losing by a bunch, by at least 6 or 7 runs. So he's seen some game action, but he hasn't been involved in a close contest this entire season. And, of course, that exhibition game was the first time he had seen live action in more than a year. So if Nick did come in, it would be a very big situation for him to come into, and that would give him, I would think, a lot of confidence for Coach Cates to go to him in that situation when he hasn't been in that situation all season long.
It has been an explosion of offense here at McLeary Field on the campus of Western Hills High School in Cincinnati, Ohio. Your Xenia Scouts lead the Cincinnati team 11-10 in the bottom of the eighth, but for how much longer, as there's runners on second and first, and we'll have a pinch runner on second base. And Danny Carrier coming into the game to replace Trey Gans, the designated hitter. Carrier represents the tying run. Jernigan, the go-ahead run. As we see a bunt being shown by Andy Rozier, chasing steps off the rubber. Cale Giddings coming all the way in. Runners on first and second. No outs here in the bottom of the eighth inning. Scouts holding on to breath of that one-run lead, and that was low. Good stop by Lincoln Reed. 1-0 now.
Danny Carrier against the Scouts, 2 for 6, and hit the home run off Thomas Wanning last time these two teams played in Cincinnati.
So a very capable pinch runner, Danny Carrier. And the Scouts will sneak in there, and pitch goes outside from Chasen. 2-0 now. Andy Rozier at the plate. First baseman for Huntington University. He's 3 for 4 today.
And you look at Rozier, he's a pretty big guy up there. So if he bunts, it's clearly sacrifice all the way with 2 guys on.
And he shows bunt again. Scouts creep all the way in. He pulls back, swings, but is behind on that one. Now 2-1 to Rozier.
This is obviously a very capable hitter, as he has 3 base hit singles on the day. So he shows bunt all the way and then pulls it back, tries to pull a fast one on the Scouts, but isn't able to make contact.
Tries to draw him in and hit it right over their heads. He was a little bit behind on that pitch, and he's going to show bunt again. This time he'll pop it up. The bunt is popped up, and Lincoln Reed puts it away. Big out for Joe Chasen on the mound. Inning-ending double play ball now set up.
And that was, like you said, clearly a very big out. Rozier, as we said, bigger guy, probably doesn't have to bunt all that often, I would think. So he had that opportunity to bunt. It wasn't able to lay it down, was able to make contact, but pops that one high up in the air in between Joe Chasen and Lincoln Reed. And Lincoln called off his pitcher and got under it for the first out of the inning.
That's going to bring in Adrian Marquez, who's playing right now. He came in for the left fielder, Mitchell Lendensky. First pitch to him, swinging and missing. 0-1 is Marquez.
Marquez, of course, had that long at-bat these two teams played right here in Cincinnati.
Jason looks at second. Now he throws home, and he gets it by Marquez again. A lot of gas still on the right arm of Joe Chasen as he just obliterates it right by him. 0-2 now to the right fielder. 1 out here. 2-1. 11-10. The Scouts lead. Trying to hold on in the bottom of the 8th inning. 0-2 pitch. That one's going to be fouled. Get caught up in the netting. Lays on a beam to the left of us. We'll do it again at 0-2. Marquez has swung at each and every pitch from Joe Chasen. Chasen tries to go high here. Angelo keep up with the heat. Chasen also throws a mean slider. Here comes the pitch. That one gets him swinging on the outside. First strikeout of the day for Chasen.
Even though Marquez came in as a pinch hitter for Lendensky and got himself a base hit, eventually came around to score. Marquez, just a 137 hitter on the season. Remember the last 2 times these teams played, he was looking for his first hit back in that series. So this is a guy that's been struggling at the plate.
Well, Joe Chasen's now pitched 1 in the 3rd. He's given up a couple runs. Both of those earned to Tony Campbell. Now coming up, Austin Holloway, still looking for his first hit as a member of the team. First pitch to him, in there for a strike. Right down Broad Street, 0-1 as fireworks explode in right field. And this has been an explosive ball game here at the plate. 11-10, the Scouts lead. 2 outs, bottom 8, 2 on. Joe Chasen standing tall on the mound. Here comes his 0-1. That one's going to be checked and fouled. Just to the left of Cale Ginnings. So Chasen quickly goes up 0-2 on Holloway. He struck out twice today. He's 0 for 3. Did have a sac fly RBI last time he was up. Austin Riemann on deck. He had that RBI double back in the bottom of the 7th. Here's the 0-2, and that one is in the dirt for a ball. Holloway checks at that one.
And of course, when you have 2 strikes on a guy, especially any specific player, you can't give them anything to hit because they're gonna want to take it and put it in play just to try and make something happen. So you have to throw something in the dirt, somewhere out of the strike zone, just to see if you can get him to chase on the 0-2.
1-2 from Chase, and here it comes. That one's outside. Great eye from Holloway, and he stays away from that pitch. 2-2 with 2 outs. 2 runners on. Lead runner on second base, Danny Carrier, who came in a pinch run for Trey Gans earlier this inning. Evened up. Chasing on the mound. He raises that knee, throws home, and just misses that outside corner. We have a full count, folks, with the drama at its climax. Holloway looking for his first hit as a member of the Steam. Down by a run here. Scouts up 11-10. 2 on, 2 outs. A pivotal spot. Chasen looks at second. He throws home. And it's going to be fouled backwards as both runners were on the move. And we'll do it again. Second payoff pitch from Chasen about to come into Lincoln Reed, who's done a great job behind the plate this afternoon. I have to see if David Gong comes in to pinch hit in the 9th inning or not. He did not get the start today. 3-2 pitch from Chasen. Incoming. Now it's going to be fouled away again. Towards the Steam dugout. We've seen a few of those very dangerously screaming into the Steam dugout. 3-2 from Chasen. As he gets some instruction from Coach Cates in the Scouts dugout. Here comes the 3-2 again. That one misses. And misses for a walk. And is going to load the bases.
A very close pitch there on the outside corner, but it definitely was a little bit far to the right, to that outside part of the plate. So that loads up the bases for Austin Riemann, and he is 1 for 3, but did have a double that was an RBI last inning. So even though this is the number 9 hitter, this is someone who does already have a double today.
Now it's in his last at-bat. That one's lined to left field. Big moment here as that one goes in for a strike. Chasen working aggressively against Riemann with the game in the balance. Scouts up 11-10. Bases loaded. 2 outs. Navy and blue trying to avoid dropping 2 in a row after losing yesterday in extra innings to the Southern Ohio Copperheads. Here comes the 0-1. Swung on and missed. 0-2 quickly to Riemann.
Looked like he was trying to check swing on that one, but was already too far around on that one in the dirt from Chase, and hard pitch to hold off on.
So we saw Holloway work back and eventually get a walk. We'll see what Riemann does if he can show the same amount of patience as his teammate standing off first. Here comes the 0-2. That one's going to be chopped towards second base. Christian Baker picks up, throws to first in time, and the Scouts get out of the danger. The bases were loaded by Joe Chasen, but he strands all 3, and they can't get off the island. Austin Riemann heads back to the dugout with a sour taste in his mouth. Then we're going to the top of the 9th. Scouts still lead 11-10.
That was just crazy inning there from the Scouts. Started off with Trey Gans. He got himself on with an infield hit. He was replaced on the base pass by Danny Carrier, and that's in the DH role, so no defensive changes need to happen. We will have another pitcher out there. However, it will be Will Detweiler. He's a lefty from Camden, South Carolina, comes to us from the College of Charleston, but I'll keep recapping that inning. And then after Gans went up and Jernigan came up, he was hit by a pitch Then Roser tried to bunt and move the guys over, and he popped it up to Lincoln Reed right in front of home plate. And then Adrian Marquez came up, and he struck out, and that was Jason's first strikeout of the day. And then Holloway worked the count all the way. He worked it to 3-2 and got on with a walk of his own. And then Jason went right at Riemann and got him to strike out. Didn't throw a single ball past him. He went down. He grounded out to second, on an 0-2 count. So great job from Joe Chasen after creating a little bit of his own damage. Finds a way to keep the team from getting any more runs on the scoreboard, and the Scouts still have a 1-run lead going into the top of the ninth.
Joe Chasen shows the definition of damage control, as after quickly getting in trouble, putting the first 2 men on, and then walking the bases loaded after working out of a bit of trouble, gets the last batter to ground out to Christian Binger over at second. Christian with a nice play. The runner was in front of his vision of the ball, but stayed cool, calm, and collective and put him away. And we're here in the last inning of action, assuming we don't go extras, which, as crazy as the ball game we've had here, I wouldn't be surprised. So Will Detweiler on the mound out of the College of Charleston. And it'll be the second lefty we've seen today. Nick Cecil was also a lefty, and he was touched up from the Scouts. See if they have the same fortune against the second southpaw.
And something you brought up on the possibility of David coming in as a pinch hitter does become more of a possibility now that there's a lefty on the mound, but who do you really want to replace in this Scouts lineup with Austin hitting the way he does? And you really want to take the bat out of Christian's hands in a late game situation, even though it's a lefty on lefty matchup. So I don't know if that's a possibility, but we could see the potential of David Gaunt coming into the play.
So Miles right up to the dish. He's 3 for 4 today with 3 singles and a couple of RBIs. It's been an unbelievable day again here at McLeary Field for the right fielder, who goes to St. Edward's University in Austin, Texas. First pitch from Detweiler. A bunt attempt shown, but it goes low. Miles pulls back that bunt. It's going to be 1-0 now. We haven't seen a walk from the team since back in the 6th inning. 1-0 Miles right. That one is going to be hit towards center field. Habercorn will put away the can of corn, and it'll be 1 down here in the top of the 9th, and I don't think we'll see David Gaunt. You're right, Lance. It was a good point. This has been the best hitting part of today's lineup. So why would you want to take anyone out?
Yeah, you got to think that Coach Cates is going to stick to his guns and give David a day off that he really needed. He's played in every single game and has been struggling at the plate recently, so gave him the day off today to let him clear his head a little bit.
We saw him at the play now. First pitch to him outside for a ball. He's 1 for 4 in today's contest. Last time, he was put out by his foul bunt attempt that came back and hit him. I guess it wasn't foul. It was in play. Came back to hit him. It was a strange play. 1-0. That one goes inside. 2-0 to Lee Stallman, who has already walked today. Now it's back in that big 5th inning where the Scouts put 8 runs across the board. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. That one inside corner from Detweiler for a strike. 2-1 to Solomon. Those 8 runs in an inning were the most in an inning of the year for the Scouts. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Solomon chops that one, and it's going to roll foul. I don't know why they were chasing that one so hard. It looked like it was definitely going foul, and they made sure they were running after. I thought they might grab it in the field of play, which would have put Leon with a single, but Lee will be back into the batter's box.
You got to think with the way that things are going, you have to expect the unexpected, as that ball could have found a way to come back into fair ground. We've seen weird things happen today. We've seen weird things happen all season, so could have happened right there, and they made sure it didn't happen by touching it in foul ground.
Here comes the 2-2 to Lee. That one's going to be chopped over shortly towards second base. Rodriguez muffs it, throws to first. Not in time. We'll see if they're going to rule on error on Rodriguez.
I think I would rule that. But we'll see.
Well, wait, it was a slowly hit ball. Richard Rodriguez could have picked it up, misplayed it, then recovered through, but not in time to get out the speedy Solomon. So if 1 out, the Scouts have 1 on.
And then we'll rule that in here, and that'll bring up Austin Orr, who has stricken out twice, but he's 3 for 5 with 2 bunt hit singles.
Here's the first pitch to Austin. That rolls beneath, and Lee Solomon is going to be on the move and easily in there, and the pass ball is going to put him in scoring position. 1-0 now to Austin Orr, as you mentioned. 2 bunt singles today. Also, that 2 RBI double back in that big 5th inning. It's been maybe the best day of the year for Austin Orr. Definitely, arguably the best. Now with his 6th appearance at the plate today. Here comes the next pitch. That was swung on. Big swing from Austin Orr, and he misses everything on that one. A whole lot of air for the 1-1 count now.
You got to think, with 1 down, Solomon already at second. Why not see if you can get the bunt down for another base hit? Bremen's not playing that deep at third.
And the hit and run was on as Orr fouls that one back into the netting. Lee Solomon was on his horse from second to third. 1-2 count now to Austin.
Which I guess explains why the bunt wasn't on. They wanted to try and do it the old-fashioned way with the base hit.
Will Detweiler, the 5th member of the team we've seen on the mound today, the 2nd lefty. Here's his 1-2 to Austin Orr. That one's going to be fouled off the plate. We'll do it again at 1-2 here for Austin. He's staying alive. Orr has struck out twice today. Once in the 1st inning and his last at bat in the top of the 7th. Scouts lead 11-10. 1 out here in the top of the 9th. And that one gets him swinging again. Austin Orr is retired on strikes for the 3rd time today. That's the first strikeout for Will Detweiler from the College of Charleston. And that's going to bring a Christian Binger in the 9th inning. And I don't know if there's anyone I'd rather have at the plate than Christian Binger in the 9th. He's a man of the dramatics. Could extend the Scouts' lead here. First pitch he sees in there for a strike. 0-1 to Binger. Lee Solomon on second base. He reached on an error, was advanced on a pass ball. 0-1 to Christian. That one's chopped up into the field of play, and Christian Binger did not expect that, and he's going to be thrown out just in front of home plate. Heads up play by Austin Holloway to throw out Binger, and that's going to do it for the Scouts. And we're going to go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Joe Chasen is going to head back to the rubber.
So we'll see if Chasen has enough to close this one out, and he would get the win for this one. So we've seen him go 3 2/3 here at Cincinnati before. We'll see if he can keep going into this contest. He came in back in the 7th inning.
It's been one crazy contest, folks. The Scouts and the Steam have been back and forth, back and forth. Lee Solomon started off the scoring back in the top of the 1st, in the very first at-bat when he had a solo shot over the left center field wall. Then in the bottom of the 2nd, the Steam burst out ahead, putting 5 across the board. Would add on to that total. In the bottom of the 4th, went up 6-1, and all looked lost for the Xenia Scouts. Until suddenly, their biggest outing on an inning for this season. 8 runs came across the dish in the top of the 5th, added 1 more in the top of the 6th, and they are up by a 9-6 score. And then, a 10-6 score. And then in the bottom of the 7th, this team would fight their way back and rise to a tie as they put 4 across in the bottom of the 7th. And then it was Kyle Carnahan who scored in the top of the 8th. That was the go-ahead run as the Scouts are up 11-10, and the Steam try to come back and tie it or walk off against the Scouts.
And it'll be the top of their lineup. It'll be led off by Richard Rodriguez. That'll be Brad Burkhart and Drake Habercorn.
He shows bunt in there for a strike as he pulls it back 0-1. Jason steps back on the rubber. Rodriguez is 2 for 5 today. Second pitch to him gets him swinging. 0-2 now to the second baseman, Richard Rodriguez, who just had that error that didn't cost them.
Back in the 7th inning, he had a 2 RBI hit that he tried to extend into a double, was thrown out.
And that one misses high. 1-2 now to Richard Rodriguez, the Bearcat from Cincinnati, in his 9th game with the Cincinnati Steam. And here comes the pitch, and it gets Rodriguez to jump up. And they're saying it hit him.
Did it actually hit him, or did he just jump?
He definitely jumped over top of it. Does it count if he fell back on top of it? Because that ball missed
Are
him.
you not allowed to jump? Is there a rule against it?
Now letting for the steam.
They're going to convene.
The left fielder,
Steve
Christian
Horman,
Steenberg.
Brian Gunning going to talk about it. But that didn't hit him on the throw. It bounced, and he jumped over it, and he fell on top of it. And now Coach K's come out. He has some qualms.
He saw what we saw, that it looked like he just jumped over it. Don't know what they're going to say. We can't quite hear them up here in the press box.
Rodriguez, the tying run is on first with no outs, and that's going to bring up Brad Burkhart. Burkhart 0 for 4 today, reached last time on an error from Cale Giddings. Joe Chasen steps back, pick off attempt towards first. Lobbed it. If he would have thrown it with any velocity, would have got by Cale Giddings. As the drama continues to build, Scouts trying to hang on to this 11-10 lead. Brad Burkhardt at the dish. Treg Habercorn on deck. And Burkhardt shows. And will take ball one on the bunt.
I personally think he offered it. If you just hold the bat there and it's a ball, then it's a ball. But it looks like he did try to move it a little bit and make contact, but they're going to say it's a ball. I disagree on that one.
Rodriguez on first. Burkhardt at the plate. Here's a throw from Chase. Another bunt. That one's outside. He pulls back. Clearly 2-0 now to Brad Burkhardt, the right fielder, the flyer from Dayton University.
Did start in right field, has since moved to left field.
That's
as
true.
Marquez moved out to right field when they took out Lendensky.
The original right fielder, now left fielder. The fielder of many suits tonight. 2-0 pitch from Chasen. That one outside corner for a strike as Burkhardt pulls away, but it matters not. Now 2-1. From the righty from Hillsdale College, Joe Chasen, originally from Hawaii, moved to Georgia and now plays his college ball in Michigan. Well-traveled man. Here's the 2-1. That one is low. So the third ball from Joe Chasen, who can't afford to put the winning run on first base with no outs here. Burkhardt steps back in and see if he shows bunt now. He will. Chasen throws it. And it's going to be laid down, a well-laid down bunt. Chasen slits. Binger picks it up, throws it in time to first base. Christian Binger with the heads-up play in the field as Joe Chasen slips on the grass. Coach Pat Hyde is not happy. But what a play by Christian Binger to pick up the perfectly placed bunt. That was between the mound and first base. Binger playing in and picking up barehanded, throwing to Cale Giddings just in time. The sacrifice will move Rodriguez. The tying run to second, though, and be one down here for Treg Habercorn, who's 1 for 2 today and has been on 4 times.
Seeing as Rodriguez shouldn't be on base at all, I think it's okay that it's a close play that gets out Burkhardt trying to bunt his way on, and was supposed to just be a sacrifice, but almost made it a base hit.
It was very close. Now Chasen will have to face Habercorn. Here comes the first pitch to Treg, and that one misses outside for a ball, 1-0.
Habercorn, like you said, having a great day. Was hit by a pitch in his first at-bat, reached on 2 walks, then had a hit, and then flew out to Levi in the 7th inning.
And that was a diving catch that ended that 7th inning. An unbelievable play by Gilchrist. We see it time and time again. Here comes the next pitch. And that one inside for a strike on that inside corner. 1-1 with 1 out. 1 runner on. He's on second base in scoring position. That's Richard Rodriguez. Nick Street was warming up earlier. Don't see him now. Joe Chasen still on the mound. Here's the 1-1. That one's going to be popped high in the sky. Lincoln Reed trying to get under it. And he will. And that's going to put away Treg Habercorn. And Joe Chasen is 1 out away from ending this game.
And so it would be Trey Gans coming up to the plate, but he was pinch ran for Danny Carrier. So Trey Gans had himself a great day. He had 3 hits, had a couple RBIs. That brings up Danny Carrier, and this will be his first at-bat on the day, but did have a home run off Thomas Wanning in the 9th inning that made it within 1 run.
So Carrier has homered against the Scouts in the 9th inning here at McLeary Field. That would end this ball game. First pitch to Carrier, and his first at bat of the game is in the outside corner for a strike. Joe Chasen trying to finish off the steam and end this crazy night with a Scouts victory. 0-1 to Carrier in this righty versus righty battle. Next pitch is in there for a strike. Carrier goes down 0-2 in his first at bat of the ball game. Rodriguez takes his lead off of the second base bag. He represents the tying run. Carrier represents the winning run. Chasen on the rubber. Here comes the 0-2. That one's going to be hit towards Lee Solomon at short. He picks it up, throws to first. And it's in time to end the game. Joe Chasen is able to finish it out. And you have to imagine he's going to get the win in tonight's contest after pitching 2 2/3 innings and not giving up any earned runs. I have to imagine Joe Chasen for the second time this year is going to get the victory, and McLeary Field will figure that out later as that's up to the stats keeper to decide. But he's got to be Chasen. We do, but it's got to be Kyle Carnahan.
Does it?
I think so. Kyle Carnahan today was 4 for 5 with a walk and a 2 RBI homer.
It's a doubleheader between the
3 for 5. 3 for 4. 3 for 4 with a walk. So he's on 4 out of 5 times.
Yeah, personally, I loved the day Austin Orr had, but he struck out 3 times. So I think that's what really hurts him. Miles has another compelling case for being player of the game here today. Question is, do you want me to run down and get them, or should I text Jeff?
I'd probably run down there and get him.
Okay. I will run down and get Kyle Carnahan, our player of the game.
And I will try to recap this absolute madness of a ball game. Hopefully we're going to try to get Kyle Carnahan up here. We're going to try to move our camera. As you can see, the Scouts over there huddled up. Scouts will be sharing the gospel tonight. This will be the second player of the game for Kyle Carnahan. Again, had an absolutely unbelievable day. 3 for 4, 2 RBIs, both of them on that 2-run shot. His 5th home run on the season. He's now 2nd on the team. His 1 out was to right field. He also had a single back in the 1st, was walked in the 6th, and had that double in the 8th inning, and he was the go-ahead run in this contest. Scouts sharing the gospel tonight, so we have to see if Carnahan will be able to come up here, if he's going to go out there to hang out with his team. It looks like Carnahan will start walking towards this direction. It was just an absolutely incredible ball game, folks. The Scouts win it 11-10. It was back and forth all game long. Scouts start off the scoring in the 1st inning when Lee Solomon had a solo shot to start off the whole ball game, and that really set the tone in the bottom of the 2nd. This team put 5 runs across the board. It would add another one in the 4th. Would go up 6-1, and all hope looked to be lost. And then 8 runs in an explosive top of the 5th inning for the Scouts put them up, and they'd extend that lead to 10-6 after 1 run in the 6th inning. Steen would fight back, would put 4 on and tie it up in the 7th. And the Scouts would score Kyle Carnahan in the 8th inning. He was the go-ahead run, and after Joe Chasen was able to close it out in the 9th, the Scouts get the unbelievable, the incomprehensible 11-10 victory. And we're going to be joined now by Mr. Hot Corner himself, Kyle Carnahan, his 2nd player of the game. First of all, congratulations, Kyle. Have you ever been a part of a contest like that? That was absolutely crazy. How does that rank up there in your life and some of the most back and forth, hard-hitting games?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun, man. That was a lot of hits, a lot of back and forth, man. We got down early, and great job by the team to stay with it and come back. I mean, that was a total team win right there. A lot of guys battled, a lot of good at-bats put together, and that was fun.
What's the mood like going into that fifth inning before you guys exploded for 8th runs? It looked like another day. Hits weren't going well. The bats were kind of quiet, down 6-1. All hope looked to be lost, but then you guys exploded. What was going on there?
Yeah, I mean, we got down early, but credit to the guys, man. We never get down and we never count ourselves out. We got a lot of guys that are just willing to battle and never give up until they're last out, and just put a big inning together, and sometimes the hits fall, and it worked out that way for us tonight.
In the last week, you've had 4 home runs. What's been different this week than from the start of the season?
Well, I think, as David likes to say, swing hard in case you hit it, and that's kind of what I've been doing, just getting good pitches and scoring them up, and they've been going.
And then you score the winning run in the top of the 8th inning. What's going on before you line that double? What's going in your mind when you're at the plate right there?
Well, I was really just trying to get on base any way I could. I just tried to square around early and didn't get the bunt down, but I just got a good pitch I could hit, and just trying to find a way on base to give our team an opportunity to score a run.
Last question, Joe Chasen, incredible in relief tonight. I believe he'll be his 2nd victory here of this season. What are your thoughts in the 9th inning? He's about to go back out there and close it.
We got a lot of confidence in Joe. Joe's got some great stuff, and he did a really good job of working out of some tough situations there late in the game, and we just have a ton of confidence in him, and we know he's got the stuff to get the job done. Well,
Kyle, congratulations. It was an unbelievable day for you today, and Scouts get the victory in incredible fashion, 11-10.
Thanks, Derek.
Kyle Carney, our 2nd-time player of the game winner. If his mom, Brenda's watching at home, congratulations to your son, Kyle Carnahan. And as Lance will come back on the headset, that's just me. We'll see if we can finagle Lance over here. That's better. Get a little close here to my broadcast partner, Lance. Unbelievable game. The Scouts, we say it every time, the Scouts like to make it dramatic. It was just like that tonight.
Yeah, it's absolutely right, Terry, with 8 runs in that 5th inning. I've never seen anything like that. We've seen the 7-run inning against the Steam earlier on this week, but 8 runs, that's crazy. That's a great inning from the Scouts. A couple of days ago, the Bats didn't wake up at all, and then you have a game here where you explode for 8 runs in that inning. They did a great job in that 6th inning, just weren't able to plate all those guys that they got on. They left the bases loaded. And give all the credit in the world to the Steam. They had 2 tremendous innings. They had that 5-run inning in the 2nd, and then 4 runs in the 7th inning with that 1 run in the 4th inning sprinkled in. If they had just had a little more juice in the later innings, they could have found a way to come out on top in a crazy game, the likes of which I've never really seen before.
I think I can speak for yourself and me when I say we thought Q McGrath was going to get his first loss of the season. It seems so long ago that we saw Q on the mound after he gave up those 6 runs, and we were kind of in shock. That tied his amount of runs he had coming into this game on the season in his first 6 appearances. And the Scouts were able to lift him up, fight all the way back with that huge 8-run inning like you talked about that surpassed the 7-run inning against the Settlers earlier on this weekend. And it was just a crazy night, but the Scouts pull through. Is there anything out there in particular that you see when it comes to late inning games for the Scouts that it just kind of separates them?
Well, it's really just about kind of where they fall in the lineup. It always seems like they're right near the top of the order or right before the top of the order. It seems like Christian Minger always plays a role in those late game situations, whether he hits in the run, whether he is just on base for the run. He always seems to be a part of it some way or another. So that means that the Scouts, for the most part, are near the top of their order. When it was back at Lime, I think it was right when they dropped him in the order. I think that was with the first game. They finally did drop him after he wasn't hitting the ball quite the way he was used to. And he since has worked his way back up in the order. He's now is 2nd or 3rd just about every single time. And he had himself another great game, almost had a chance near the end to get it on. But it's just a matter of if they can wind up in the right spot in the order. And a lot of these guys have the confidence and know that they can go up there and get the job done. So I think that plays a big part as well, aside from just being at the right spot in the lineup, to have those great hitters come up. The guys near the bottom are good hitters too, but in the middle of the order, there's just something different, especially with the way Kyle's been swinging the bat the last week. You touched on it. With 4 home runs in just the last week alone, he's been seeing the ball very well, and it showed here tonight as he got another home run.
It was a crazy day at the plate for the Scouts, as without leading hitter David Gaunt in today's game for the first time in game number 30 here. He started the first 29 His teammates lifted him up as 3 Scouts batters all got 3 hits. Austin Orr with a couple of bunt singles and a 2 RBI double. Kyle Carnahan, our player of the game, went 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs, including that homer. Also doubled and scored the game-winning run. And Miles Wright with that great day, 3 for 4, 3 singles, a couple of RBIs. Just a great day all around for the Scouts. Joe Chase in relief should get the victory. Another great performance for him. Got into some danger, like Kyle Carnahan mentioned, but was able to work his way out of it and close out the ball game for the Scouts' victory. Scouts, this team will play again tomorrow at 4:05. They'll be back at Grady's Field in Xenia, Ohio. Be sure to join Lance Morris and myself, Terry Lash. And one final time, a crazy day at McLeary Field and the Western Hills High School campus in Cincinnati, Ohio. The Scouts win 11-10 is your score of this ball game. Good night and God bless, folks.